What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Patrick, aka Addicted to Combat, back for another live stream. And happy Wednesday, you guys. We're halfway through the week, which means we're halfway to Fight Night at UFC Fight Night Kansas City. We've got Max Holloway returning to take on rising prospect, undefeated in the UFC at featherweight, Arnold Allen. Awesome main event there at featherweight. The co-main event, Edson Barboza versus Billy Quarantillo at featherweight as well. That's a banger. And it's a pretty good fight night card to come back after a pay-per-view card, you know, Cody? It's one that I'm excited for. There's a lot of returning fighters, some comical fights like that Zach Cummings, Ed Herman one.
Yeah.
I'm oddly excited for that one. Those are the types of fights that get me out of bed in the morning because I know I'll probably not have any money on it. I can just sit back and watch. But welcome back to the channel, you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and check out the links because my guest you've seen on this channel many times before. We do a lot of content together. My good friend Cody from BloodMoneyMMABets. What's going on this week, my friend?
What's up? I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be back on the show. I love being on this show. It's one of my favorite shows to be on, man. Talking fights with you. Like you said, it's a weird card. There's a lot of fights on it. Hopefully we keep them all and they go the way we think they're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit earlier tonight. I usually do these late, but to accommodate you, Cody, I know you're working. The last time you were on my channel is, and the reason we haven't done a lot on here is because you're working that early shift now. So by the time I go live, you're already sleeping and getting ready for your early shift at like 3 in the morning, you know?
Yep, I get up at 2:50 in the morning, man. So I'm usually laying down by 8. So it's been terrible.
I'm usually like recording my full card breakdown, and I'll see you answer a DM because you're waking up, and I'm still grinding.
you always answer the DMs. You're always up. That's for sure.
Yeah, let's hit up the comments real quick. I see Miss Jenna Marie in here saying, "What's up to my boys?"
What is up, Jenna?
She says, "All I know is if I put one more late scratch in my DraftKings lineup, I'm going to lose it." Yeah, what was it? There was one that just happened too.
Sherman and Carl Williams.
Yeah,
I put in 3 DraftKings lineups. I just started doing that on my Patreon, and all 3 of them had a canceled fight on it. All of them. I can't remember the ones before, but every single one of them had a canceled fight on it.
That sucks, man. But speaking of your Patreon, I do have the Patreon linked in the description for you. Go check out my boy, get all of his early picks because you're always grinding out the early content. And I know you said that you're going on vacation soon to the great city of Las Vegas, so you're going to have some early stuff, I'm sure, as well. Already breaking down fights for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'll have my UFC Vegas 72 breakdown out next Friday. I'll drop it before I leave and go out to Vegas probably. And unless I take my laptop with me, I might do that. But it's gonna.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, Jenna. Is with the Manel Cape.
Yep.
Daz Files in the house, and let's go. Good betting card. I think so. I've got a lot of bets in already. Some I'm more confident in than others, but I did sprinkle some shots on the prelims as well that we'll get into. And we do have 14 fights, a lot to get through. We'll get right after it. We do have the prelim starting off at the women's bantamweight division 135. Jocelyn Edwards taking on Lucia Pudilova. And just to kick off this one, I mean, it should be a striker versus striker matchup for the most part here, Cody. I think that if anybody does wrestle, it's probably Pudilova, who seems to be a little bit improved upon the second stint to the UFC. She's currently sitting – the money line is pretty close. I'm not sure how much I want to invest in this one. Minus 135 for Pudilova, plus 115 for Jocelyn Edwards. I'm on the Pudilova's side. I think she gets a decision win here. She did show some violence against Wu Yanan last time, but that's one of the worst women on that roster, and I think she's been cut since then. You know, it's the kicking game of Jocelyn Edwards. She can rack up points that way, maintain distance, but if she can't maintain that distance, she starts getting touched on the chin. Sometimes she does not like it and reacts poorly. So I'll take Pudilova to win this one down the stretch. What I do like from a prop perspective, though, man, is the over 2.5. I'm seeing like juice to the gills, minus 300, minus 325 on some books. But if you look on BetOnline and even Bovada, fight goes to decision. They haven't updated that. That's still at minus 230 on BetOnline, even though you're getting like $1 savings for an extra 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I got the over 2.5 at minus 320, like you're saying.
Yeah, so I mean, neither of these two women have finished the fight in round 3. Neither of them have really finished fights against high-level opposition. You know what I mean? So this should see the scorecards, and to get that much of a savings and just the fight going the extra 2.5 minutes. I mean, I might have to just throw like a unit on that at this point. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely like that, because if you look back, I think the last like 12 of their combined fights went to decision. Pudilova finishing Wu was an anomaly. She doesn't really finish anybody.
Right.
I actually like Jocelyn Edwards in this fight. I just think that Pudilova, I don't think her wrestling's as good as it looked against Wu. Like even when she tried like her body lock takedowns on Wu, Wu stopped them, but she did duck under a couple punches and land like some smooth, well-timed takedowns. But I don't know, man. Her top control is nice. I like her top control. Obviously, her ground and pound's pretty good with elbow. She had that good rear naked choke. But her striking, I just don't like it. It's awkward. It doesn't have much power to it. I know she started like a boxer, but I really didn't like her striking game. Now, Jocelyn Edwards, like you said, man, she throws a ton of kicks. She almost uses her front kicks and teep kicks like a jab. She's got she threw probably about 100 kicks in her last fight against what's the one girl's name? The other Chinese
GM Kim.
Yeah, I'm getting all these different names messed up. But she's got some nice pop in her hands. The one thing is like you said, she doesn't respond well to getting hit. Like she took a leg kick in one of the fights and she like wants to go down. She took a body kick against Ramona Pascal and almost got finished. Yeah. But I just don't think Pudilova has any power, and I don't think she's going to be able to get this fight to the ground because Jocelyn Edwards showed kind of bad takedown defense against Jessica Rose Clark and Carol Rosa, but that was a couple years ago, and that's probably all she's been working on since then. So I'm going to say that Pudilova doesn't land the takedowns and that Jocelyn Edwards is able to win this fight. I like her by decision for sure because, like I said, she hasn't finished anybody, and she actually has a good size too. You know, Pudilova is usually a little bit taller and bigger than other girls, and they're both 5'8", and Jocelyn Edwards actually has a 2.5-inch reach. So I like Edwards. I'm on Edwards by decision.
Yeah, and both of those are pretty much the same prop. You know, they expect this to go to decision, so you're getting like plus 130 or so on Pudilova decision, like plus 150 Edwards decision, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I like the fight goes to the decision. If you can get that discount, like I mentioned, like minus 230, I might have to throw in on that just because that's such a discount from where they expected to go over 2.5.
Yep, for that extra half a round with these girls who do nothing but go to decision.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that. I'm sure that'll get updated at some point. But yeah, we can shout out the chat people filtering in. Here's our guy, Mike Potts. Hey, my dude came to kick it with you. Miss you, homie. Is that your boy?
Yes, my dude I grew up with. What's up, Mikey? I put it on my Facebook earlier, man. So I appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us, Mike, supporting the channels, bro.
Yeah, man.
I miss you too, dude.
A friend of Cody's, a friend of mine. What's going on to Luke? Yes, good to see you. Houdini Beats in the house. Always a good supporter. Anthony W in the house as well. Appreciating the breakdowns. I appreciate you guys here to break it down with Rob Lawrence. Much respect to you as well, my friends. And our boy Effie, the Any Action Sportscast in the house.
I'm going to hang out with him.
Go subscribe to our boy Effie. Get his channel up. Does awesome breakdowns, man. And yeah, he's saying Edwards has them thunder thighs, boy.
Yeah, she does.
That's the only reason Cody's backing her in this spot. Let's be honest.
She really does, man. Especially at 145.
Yeah, right. She fought Pascal at that, like on short notice, right?
Yep. And she's thick.
But we can move along to another bantamweight fight, but this time it's in the men's division. We do have the debut of Gaston Bolanos. If you're familiar with Bellator, you'll know Gaston Bolanos. He does some of their kickboxing stuff as well as some Muay Thai experience, as well as a 6-3 record in his professional MMA career. A striker, man. 6 wins, all 6 by way of knockout. Very dynamic striker. I mean, he's got like pretty good classic Muay Thai techniques, good technique and form. Never gets out of position, but he can throw wild spinning elbows, the occasional spinning kick, and he's been successful with that. He's taken on Aaron Phillips, who we have not seen in the UFC in almost 3 years. It was summer of 2020. On short notice, he returned to take on Jack Shore. It did not go well. He got pretty well ripped to the ground and tapped out in round 2. So a Taekwondo striker for Aaron Phillips that dances on the outside, hands low style, chin up in the air. He does have a decent ground game. You know, sometimes if he can get taken down, his scramble ability is good enough where he can end up on top. Doesn't really establish a strong top control, but he can, get out of a bad spot on the ground. But I think this stays striking for the majority of the fight. But man, 0-3 in the UFC for Aaron Phillips. He's always been taking on grapplers in his UFC fights. And then the fights that he wins are on the regional scene against low-level competition. So what do you see in this fight? Which side are you on? And how do you think they get the job done?
Yeah, this fight's even sketchier than the Ed Herman fight, man, to me, to be honest.
Like that.
Neither of these dudes seem to be fighting for in a long time. Like you said, Phillips 3 years. I think Gaston hasn't fought in a little while, has he?
I think it's been a little over a year, or maybe a little under a year.
Okay, and like Phillips is 0-3 in the UFC, but man, Gaston's like 0 or not 0-3, but he's lost 3 in Bellator to low level guys. And Aaron Phillips' first couple losses weren't to the highest level guys, but yeah, man, this is just so much unknowns. Gaston Bolanos, obviously, he's Muay Thai is phenomenal. Them spinning elbows he's got are awesome, but I don't know what his grappling's like. You know, we don't. Well, we kind of know it's not really all that good. I've seen him like reverse a low level dude, take him down, let him back up. It was actually, I think it might have been the dude he even hit with the spinning elbow and knocked him out cold. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of his ground game. I know he got choked out by a real low level guy in a terrible guillotine. Aaron Phillips, he had high school wrestling and stuff. It's just that when he's fought like, especially coming back to fight Jack Shore, that's a tough ask. But he's got good taekwondo striking, you know, good body kicks, stuff like that. But I mean, I think if his striking's good enough to where almost every fight that he's fought in the UFC, the dudes took him down, even Sam Cecilia back in the day. But good striking, good kicks, good body kicks. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I know he has high school wrestling. I was watching his fights, and they brought that up, his first fight actually against Sam Cecilia when he came in. I'm going to take Aaron Phillips. I'm just going to say that he's got good striking, so I don't think he's going to be a fish out of water striking with Bolanos. And then I'm going to say he's got better wrestling and better jiu-jitsu. So Aaron Phillips, and I'm going to say he subs him because that's Gaston Bolanos been subbed by lower level guys, but I'm not touching this fight at all. I think this is so sketchy. Dude's 6-3 and a huge favorite, you know.
Yeah, so sizable. I mean, what is he now? He was a -190,
like -210 or something.
-210. It's gone up a little bit. I'm just gambling, man. I threw the unit down, just a unit down to win. You know, a little under a half at -190. I'm Bolanos. It's half because I like his striking, and I think this does stay striking. So I think he does have the edge where the fight should be most of the time. But also Aaron Phillips, man, this long layoff. He didn't look good the last time we saw him. He didn't look good in 2014 when we saw him then either. So
right.
I just think his record is kind of fluffed full of like UFC tier competition. And I'll see what Bolanos is about. So I didn't throw, like, usually I would invest at least 190 to win, that bill in return. But I just threw in probably half, just one unit. I was going to potentially bet another half a unit on his knockout prop, but they're really shafting us here because it's plus 115 on Bet Online. It's not out on DraftKings or FanDuel yet.
Like you said, if it stays standing, it's Bolanos all day. I mean, he's got crazy Muay Thai knees. He's got crazy kicks, them spinning elbows. I like it. And I mean, yeah, it's not like Phillips has the greatest wrestling in the world. But
we're talking about Aaron Phillips here, Mr. Barkley. Right. Yeah, again, and even betting like a knockout prop or the inside the distance prop is tricky. Like, even though Bolanos has 100% finish rate, Phillips has never been finished before. He was TKO'd one time on his record. That was to Chris Gutierrez, who's also on this card, and that was
leg injury.
Yeah, it was leg kicks. He couldn't answer the bell after getting his legs chopped off. So doesn't really count. He's never been chinned before. And this is something I was talking to Lou about last week. Something we've been trying to avoid is like just assuming that, like, say Bolanos is always knocking people out, like assuming he'll do it again, even though we haven't seen Phillips
ever get knocked out.
You don't want to just to go ahead and assume that unless you're getting a juicier number than like plus 115. So
right. Yeah.
And Rob,
I would love to see him hit him with the spinning elbow, dude.
That'd be nice. Right in the nose. Yeah, sketchy should be the name of this card, man. There's so many fights that are like even money or an argument for the dog. And so far we're on opposite sides of each one of these, but we can move on to the third one. Bruna Brazil versus Denise Gomes. We might be in the opposite side of this one as well. Women's strawweight, 115 bout. Both girls are Brazilian, and one is so much Brazilian that she decided to name herself after the country. We got Bruna Brazil, long, lanky striker, making her debut here, coming off of a highlight reel knockout on the Contender Series against Marnik Mann. Nice head kick knockout, one-shot KO, walked off with the victory. Denise Gomes also coming off the Contender Series last season. She had a 3-round battle back in rounds 2 and 3, showed toughness, some good striking, and then made a debut on short notice. 4-week turnaround against Loma Lookboonmee last September. I thought she gave a pretty good account of herself in that fight against a really credentialed Muay Thai fighter, UFC fighter, who's been also working on her grappling. So that was a 3-round decision loss. But both girls pretty much newcomers to the division, man. Cody, how do they get the job done here? Who gets their hand raised?
Man, dude, this is going to be a dogfight. The line was definitely off, and it's correcting itself now. I think Bruna Brazil was minus like 250 at one point or something like that.
Yeah, she's come down.
minus
last night.
like 235, or she's minus like what 155 on some books now.
Yeah, minus 170 in a lot of books. Bet Online has her at minus 155. The comeback on the underdog Denise Gomes plus 135.
Yeah, and it should be closer like that. Gomez is a dog, dude. She's super tough, but I like Brazil here, man. Especially with the line getting closer for the fact that they're both like kickboxers. They're both going to do a lot of kickboxing. And Bruno Brazil to me showing good takedown defense. She showed a good get up game even when she was taken down. She reversed right away, like used good jujitsu, and she's just got the crisper striking to me. Like Gomez, she's tough. She's a beast. You've seen on like the Contender Series, she'll throw like 5 spinning wheel kicks in a row, stuff like that. Throw a lot of strikes, but she's way more reckless than Bruno Brazil. I think Bruno Brazil on the feet's going to be able to pick her apart, and then I think Bruno Brazil is going to have the better wrestling too, and jiu-jitsu, just being the bigger girl. And she looked like in her fights, her wrestling's looked good recently. Not her first couple of fights, but yeah, I like Gomez. She's gonna fight for your money. I can't blame anybody that got her at like plus 180 or plus 190 or something crazy like that, or even plus 170. But I just think that this is gonna be a kickboxing match. I mean, I think Gomez went like 0 for 6 on takedowns on Loma Lookboonmee. She reversed a couple, and like you said, she looked great in that fight. But that was like another girl that was her size to throw the punches. I think that her size in striking. I think Bruno Brazil is a little better, a little crisper, has some more power. Like you start throwing them spinning wheel kicks 2-3 in a row and missing, Bruno Brazil is going to hit you with a straight right down the pipe. She's just powerful and good everywhere. She's got good knees in the clinch. Give me Bruno Brazil by decision because Gomez is a dog, but Bruno Brazil does have power. They both do. So.
What's up to Ice Viking saying, what's up, gents? What's up to you, Mr. Viking? Any action? Effie saying Gomez with a money bag symbol. Ooh. I'm agreeing with our boy Effie, man. I got to bet 1 unit at plus 170.
Ooh, that's a good line.
Yeah, I got that before it came back down on Gomez. And this is like Bruno Brazil, I like her striking. Looks so clean. Her kicks to the body against Marnik Man was great. I mean, both these women were fighting somebody much smaller than they're going to face this Saturday in their last fight. But Gomez, like, what if this is another spot where we've got the Jacqueline Amorim of the night in Bruna Brazil, like a Jacqueline Amorim of striking in Bruna Brazil, where she's used to steamrolling through a lot of opponents. She's going to be looking in round 2, like, why the hell have I not put Gomez away yet? Usually these head kicks, these body kicks will keep women at bay or let me finish them. And then we got Gomez still stalking her down, playing the zombie, getting in her face. And sometimes with these debuting fighters, I tend to fade them when they haven't had that test. Like, they've been, they've had to taste an ass kicking and then come back. And that's what Gomez has done for a lot of her fights. Not only, not giving up submission attempts and aggression against Loma Lookboonmee, but before that, against Dudieva a couple of fights ago, where she got taken down, ground and pounder for 2 rounds, comes back in round 3 and gets the TKO stoppage. I like that at this weight class. So I'm just banking on the money line. I thought was a little bit too wide. It has corrected itself. And I'm just putting a unit on the dog here, just hoping that she does take an ass kicking in round 1 and then gets a diminished opponent in rounds 2 and 3 is the way I'd play this. But as far as like the fight going the distance, you think it's going to go to decision either way?
I mean, I do and I don't. I was looking at that line because both these girls could finish. Like you said, like Bruna Brazil, maybe she gets hurt. She's been finished in both her losses. Gomez is tough, but Bruna Brazil throws crazy head kicks. She has crazy power. So I guess Bruna Brazil by decision because I got Bruna winning, and I don't think she finishes Gomez. Like you said, if you watch a couple of her fights, Gomez takes beatings and comes back. A couple of them could have been stopped. She had 2 different fights, but she's tough, man. So, but I'm going to take the smoother, more technical, bigger fighter. You know what I mean? That looks the part. She really does, and I think that in this case, she's got the cardio to keep up. She's got the toughness because in that Marnik Man fight, got to the second round. She got taken down in the second round and reversed her right away, got back up, and then head kicked her a little bit after. So I think her cardio holds up, and I think she's going to take advantage of Gomez's sloppy striking.
Yeah, and both women training with UFC caliber fighters, both of them decently young. Bruna Brazil, 23, so 6 years of youth, 6 years of improvements to be made, plus 1,600 on her submission prop. And then I don't think she doesn't have any yet, but she was definitely attempting them, trying to show that wrinkle in her game against Loma Lookboonmee. So
yeah, she was. She looked really good against Loma, dude. She looked
and
really good.
Somebody that goes submission over position. That's somebody I want to bank on for a submission prop, not somebody that just holds. Somebody that goes for it and maybe makes that look like a discount. So
Pantoja or something, man. That's all. You know what I mean? Someone that just
goes
goes for the finish at all
dives
times.
on necks. So
Brandon Royval
probably won't get there, but Denise Gomes is the money line on this one. The fight goes to decision -175, so they do expect a little bit of violence, more than you would expect for a women's strawweight.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad look either. What's up to my guy Propaholic?
Go
subscribe to my guy. Go follow him on Twitter. I know he does his spaces with my other friend, Mike Couch Warrior Podcast. I think they're doing that on Thursdays at this point. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go check him out on Twitter. He's an awesome handicapper.
Great dude.
And my guy Ice Viking here as well, taking a shot on Gomes at +180. Got an even better line than I did. And my guy Jay, a.k.a. Border Rage, man.
Hey, what's up?
I'm pushing towards 1,000 subs, but my guy Jay was there when I had like 50 subscribers, dude. So I appreciate this guy always supporting the content.
No, those are the best. Them dudes are the best, man. We got a great community here.
Yeah, we sure do. It's crazy. Just
you
how
need to get to that.
How close knit it is. How close knit our community is dope. Everybody just talking degenerate gambling and fights. It's my kind of people.
Yep. Always keeping it cool.
Yeah, we can move along to Lando Vannata taking on Daniel Zellhuber at lightweight this time, 155-pound bout. Bit of a size discrepancy here. You know, Lando Vannata is used to fighting guys around that 5'9" height that he is. Kind of a weird up and down career when you really go back and remind yourself who this guy is. You know, he's gone 4 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws in the UFC, which is just crazy. I think since 2015. So kind of a strange up and down career. This is his first fight back at his natural weight class at lightweight after that 1-1, sort of a failed stint at featherweight. So he just got tapped out in round 1 by Charles Jourdain last summer after like a pretty fast start. And that's what I like about Lando Vannata. He's a fast starter. He gets a lot of work done early, but he can find defeat in the midst of a victory, you know? So
yeah, he can.
Speaking of that, Daniel Zellhuber kind of the same way, right? Like he was steamrolling people on the regionals, long weapons at 6'1" and a huge reach, 23 years old, goes to the Contender Series in 2021 and has an awesome triple significant strike digit war with Lucas Almeida. Not an easy task, you know, and he came out the victor. Made his debut against Trey Ogden last September, and it cost a lot of people, including myself, money on that. So not sure what to do with this guy. Are you trusting Zellhuber to right his wrongs of that fight and get a victory here?
I am, but not with my money. I was close. I was at the kiosk putting in my bets, man. I had him wrote down, and I probably should have bet him. He's -125 because I think he's the better fighter. Like, I don't think Lando's going to use no wrestling here, be able to use wrestling in this fight or nothing. And in the striking, Zellhuber, he thrives when he gets somebody coming at him. You know, Trey Ogden made him just walk him down, chase him around, hit him with some leg kicks and move. What you seen on the Contender Series, what's it? Almeida, right? Wasn't that the dude's name? That dude was coming at him, cracking him with everything, and it made him fight. And that's what I think is going to happen here. And I think he's just going to be better than Lando Vannata, especially when you look at the height, the reach. He's going to have 5 inches of height, 6 inches of reach. I think he has the better striking. But Lando Vannata's tough. He likes to stay on the inside too. So I don't know if Zellhuber is going to get to use a lot of that reach, but he's tough everywhere, man. Good clinch, good knees. Lando Vannata, like you said, he's got good boxing. He's got good kicks. He throws spinning kicks. Who did he knock out? John McDessie back in the day with that spinning kick.
His second fight in the UFC after going to war with Tony
Ferguson.
Almost finishing him in his prime.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing though with Lando. I think he slows down. I think that's why he gets a lot of losses, and I think that's why he's got his draws because he slows down in his fights, man. And in the third round, because he goes so hard in round 1 and 2, and he's not even really a crazy finisher. But this is a super tough fight to call. I'm going to take Zellhuber by decision just because I mean, Lando Vannata is tough to finish. I bet him against Charles Johnson, man, or Charles Jourdain. I bet him against him. I was down in Florida watching that. I couldn't believe it. His shorts came off and shit. He got choked out of his shorts.
Yeah, he got pantsed. He could not only, and that's like what forced the tap too. His pants around his ankle, and he's like,
he couldn't shake his legs. He couldn't shake his legs either to even get out. I'm telling my brother-in-law, man, I talked him up. I'm like, oh, he's coming down to 145.
Oh no!
Oh, this dude gets dropped, choked out, pants.
And you know that you can't look tough after losing a fight, and you have to pull your pants back up. Then you just know, like, you're not even.
Fuck this, I'm going home. You got to pull them up and
It's
just walk
never.
out.
You can never look like a badass pulling your pants back up.
Nope. So, yeah, you got me on that one. But give me Daniel Zellhuber. I think this kid's really, really, really good. I really do. I just think that he had the case of the jitters, that first fight, because he could have went out there and just did exactly what Bahamandez did to Trey Ogden and just beat him up. But he chose not to. He was just gun shy. He's a tough Mexican dude. I don't see that happening again. So give me Zellhuber by decision, and maybe he could finish him. So
I see a lot of people in the chat with agreeing with you, not banking with your money on here. Some people like Ice Viking saying he almost pulled the trigger on Zellhuber, but chilling. And man, I did the opposite, man. I pulled the trigger on Lando Vannata at plus 110.
Oh,
on the opposite side of this one, yeah. And I gotta be fully transparent. I did put a full unit on it, and I kind of do regret it. Like, I should have just laid off for this, man. But something in the tape, it might have been just super late at night. And I'm just like, the pacing of, like, the fight. I was reminded how good Lando Vannata is. I see he gets takedowns on pretty much every opponent that's not a high-level wrestler. Like, he at least does that consistently. And he's such a fast starter that I think my mind was telling me that if he can start fast in this fight, and then maybe Zellhuber will shell up and be as defensively hesitant as he was in his last fight, just stick on the outside. So I think it all depends on round one. If Vannata can start really fast, damage him early, make him timid to throw, then we'll get probably a decision victory for Vannata in the spot. But I'm not nearly as confident after diving deeper into it. And I almost want to hedge off for the bet, but we'll let it ride. Nothing wrong with an underdog shot here, but I'm just saying, like, I don't recommend this bet at all. This is just me just being a degenerate. So
yeah, I do that with tape sometimes too. Yeah. Man. You're watching late night. You're like, I did it with fucking Amorim. I did it with Amorim.
But I bet it, so I'm going to stand on my word and let you guys know I don't agree with this, and it was just a 1 unit shot on the dog here yet again. But I would love to see Daniel Zellhuber come in here and be a prospect. You love having these tall, rangy strikers at lightweight, guys like Jalen Turner, guys that are just massive for the weight class. But something about him, man, if he's timid to throw again, and like if you dive back into his record, he's steamrolling through guys that are not that good. The Almeida fight was a great one. But that was one performance. So I've seen several good performances, several good starts from Vannata.
Vannata had that last tough fight with Bobby Green recently. I mean, that was
too. Yeah, he's good at finding those slippery guys that are hard targets to hit. But I think, like you said, he does slow down later in the fight, and that's why I'm kind of kicking myself for betting him.
He's an awkward dude too, but he does go hard. But dude, the shots Zellhuber took against Almeida were freaking nuts, dude. I mean, he got cracked like. In that first round, he got cracked at least like 25 times with just straight power. The shit that was dropping Mike Trezano and finishing him, this dude was just eating him. But if he comes out and he's throwing,
Anthony making me feel better, trying to console me.
Like, come here, big guy. Come here. It's all right. It's all right. It's my boy Jaden.
Oh, what's going on, Jaden Pineda? Good to see you in here.
What's up, man?
I joined late. No problem, man. We're just getting started. This is a long card. 25 of you guys in here. Make sure you check out my guy Cody's links, all in the description. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and most important, Patreon as well. So you can talk to the man himself, pick his brain, get his DraftKings lineups and his early bets as well.
Yeah. Killed some line movement this week, man. I
got Dude, you're always posting those tickets, and luckily just so you guys know, like I talked to Cody a lot, but I only know his position on 2 of these fights, the co-main event and the next one we're talking about. I know you're lean on this one, but otherwise I'm going in here blind. Like we disagree on every single fight so far. I had no idea. You're on the same side as Couch Warrior in all of these fights. So
he must have watched my tape. No.
That's how he did it. He just skipped tape study. He just watched your breakdown.
That's all you got to do. Save you time.
Saba, what's going on? The boys. No, man, it wasn't the boys until you showed up, my friend. Good to see you in here.
Yep, we're going to get Saba live one of these days, man.
Yeah, we need to, man. I want to meet him and talk to him.
Yep.
We can move on to the fight. This is one where I know where you stand on this one, and we are. I think we are on opposite sides of this one, but not with my money this time. Piera Rodriguez taking on Jillian Robertson. I'll kick this one off at women's strawweight. The first time in a while Jillian Robertson has been at strawweight. I think she was there pre-UFC, but very good finisher for the weight class. I think out of her 8 wins, 6 of them have been by submission. So usually if she wins, she's getting that submission. And that's really what made me want to go opposite in this fight. Like she could easily do that. A lot of experience. Piera Rodriguez only on her 3rd UFC fight. The women she's taken out so far are Sam Hughes and Kay Hansen. So a good stepping stone, a good test. She's ready for the step up in competition, but what can you take from that? You kind of have to weigh all of the high level experience of Robertson at 27 years old with Rodriguez's 9-0 record over not as good competition. So I like the striking game of Rodriguez. If this does stay standing, I think she gets the job done by decision pretty clearly. But Rodriguez, she tends to drop at least one round. I noticed in watching her Kay Hansen fight, her Sam Hughes fight, her fight on the Contender Series to get her in the UFC, she dropped a different round in every single one of those fights. They were all 29-28s in her favor. She dropped round 3 against Sam Hughes, round 1 against Kay Hansen, and round 2 against Valeska Machado. So she's got to kind of put it all together here and try to win all 3 rounds at some point. Her cardio does tend to slow down with her big power shots and her wrestling that she drains herself with. I'm not sure if she wants to engage in the grappling with Robertson here. I don't know how good her defensive submission skill is. Probably not good enough to avoid getting subbed from Robertson, who's so smooth at setting things up. But no money on this one. I'm going with the dog in this fight. But I know, Cody, I think you're on the Robertson side, are you not?
Yeah, man, I'm on the Robertson side. Last time we seen her in the ring or on the mats with the 115-pound girl, she choked Thug Rose out in about 1 minute to win that flow grappling match.
Former champion. That's got to be a big confidence boost to take the 2-time champion and tap her out.
It's probably what made her drop down to 115. You know what I mean?
She's like these girls ain't shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah. She's been, dude, Jillian Robertson is experienced as they come. 27 years old, dude, and she's been in the UFC forever. You would think she's like 34. You know what I mean? She's literally grew up in the UFC. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly with her. We've seen earlier in her career where Macy Barber starts hitting her. She couldn't get the takedown, basically gives up. But then we've seen her get tougher as she goes. One fight that definitely shows me why she can win this fight is like the decision over Casey, what's her name? Courtney Casey, which is kind of like a fighter like Priya Rodriguez. You know what I mean? I feel like she's pretty good. But yes, you bring up the live bet. I don't. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, she's getting choked. She's getting put to sleep by I don't live bet, but yeah, man. He probably bet Rosa. Same people talking that shit about that Amorim shit are all the ones that bet Rosa big, man. Come on. Now, but
dude, where's speaking of that, where's Dev the dude? Where's our guy Dev? Where's MMA Jesus? He was telling people all week that they were dumb for betting Amorim.
He really was. He called me names and everything.
Yeah, man. He's the smartest man.
So that ain't very Christian of you, Dev, man. Calling me names. MMA Jesus. But yeah, man, Piera Rodriguez, she's got decent boxing. And it's weird because in some of her fights, like against Hughes and on the Contender Series, she kind of had to use her grappling to win, because her striking really isn't that great, I didn't think. She's got pretty good takedowns, but she don't have the best takedown defense. Like Kay Hansen, I bet Piera Rodriguez against Kay Hansen, and then Kay Hansen won the first round and almost the second half of the second round against her. And then she took over and reversed the takedown, won the second round, got a takedown of her own, won the third round, but it was so close. And then I actually bet Sam Hughes against her. And I actually thought Sam Hughes could have won that fight because I thought Sam Hughes won the first round. She could have won the first round because she defended takedowns and then landed big shots towards the end of the round, was chasing her around the ring. Pierre already looked tired. Then I thought she won the third. But I'm just not that high on her. And I'm really high on Jillian Robertson. Her experience level is crazy. Like, I mean, she's been in there with Talia Santos, all these girls, that Maria Agapova. If you can drag that big chick to the ground and choke her out and stuff, these are all girls she's fighting at 125, dude. And she's fighting tough, savage girls, man. She's choked out Molly McCann. These are girls that remind me of Piera Rodriguez. Like, Piera Rodriguez has not been in there with anybody. Like, Jillian Robertson is going to have all the pro tricks, all that. And if Jillian Robertson can land takedowns, she wins the fight. She's going to either get the submission or she's going to, because once she gets a girl down one time, they don't get up. She's holding them down the whole round. That's what she did with Courtney Casey. I think she might have finished Courtney Casey with like 30 seconds left in the third round or something. But a lot of her fights, man, she takes girls down. She works them. Her cardio's been looking better. Her striking's even been looking better. Like if you watch her fight with Agapova in her last couple fights, she actually ain't bad in the striking department. Not like she was early on. 27 years old, improving all the time. Piera Rodriguez is like 30 or 31. She's just been fighting low-level girls, man. I'm going to take Jillian Robertson. I think she lands the takedowns. I think she can clearly win the first or second round. She don't have to worry about getting finished by Piera Rodriguez. So I got her at plus 145. And I put 2 units on her, dude. I like Robertson. Experience. She's bigger. When was the last time you seen her bigger in a fight? She's actually 2 inches taller than Pierre Rodriguez.
That's a very good point. Yeah, she's usually the smaller one out there, and I don't think her wrestling is all that good. Maybe it's because of the bigger opponents, but her timing is very good.
Yeah.
She always catches people over swinging. A little bit patient with the takedown attempts just to catch them by surprise, and it works time and time again. Shout out to our guy 13 at MMA. Everybody go check out his page as well. He's got very detailed breakdowns, a great capper, and a martial artist himself. So check that out. It's good to have you in here, my friend. Of course, our guy Johnny K. Picks, friend of the show, friend of the channel, part of the Three Amigos here, and all three of us are going to Bellator. Come
it's gonna be fun.
Having a triple date there. That'd be great. Johnny's lovely wife, your girlfriend, my girlfriend. I'll just hanging out in the section, watching some violence.
Listen to us yell.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And Jaden saying a big jump on Jillian. Her grappling is next level, and her striking, 27 years old, can only get better. And looking at the odds here, this is something that you should really look at when you're betting fights and looking at where the line should be. I think this will be a much bigger favorite for Jillian Robertson if she was not fighting an undefeated fighter, because even though the sports books are getting better with fight odds and things like that and setting them where they should be, they still always tend to respect fighters that have never been beaten before. Yeah, no matter what the level of competition is, so there's still a little bit of that value, I think, baked into the line just because Rodriguez has that shiny O next to her record. And there's somebody else in this card I think is the same scenario.
Yeah, I don't know where Pierre Rodriguez is really good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think her striking's that good. She's got decent wrestling, but she don't really have the jiu-jitsu to hold these girls down. And then I like Jillian Robertson because I don't got to go, hey man, is she going to come out here and strike and not shoot? No, her game plan is her game plan every time. I love it. I think
for me, it was just a matter of it's a lighter weight class, 115. I tend to go with the people that have the decision equity, like a well-rounded game. Right. They're not just focused on getting that finish, but she could easily do it here. So I like your play on Robertson. Picking Rodriguez just to score the minute winning and win. But man, I think the bet is Jillian Robertson here, and the submission prop is, what was that sitting at, plus 300 maybe, plus 250.
Yeah, I could see her. Dude, she just sub Thug Rose Namajunas in a minute.
That's the way you play this, right? Like a girl that slows down in Rodriguez. You've got the submission skill, high level of Robertson, and winning. She's finished 7 of her 8 opponents, and she's finished 6 of those by submission for Robertson. Robertson submission plus 285 on BetOnline. That's not bad if you want to play her money line biggest, and then play the submission like a small sprinkle.
Who did she beat? Courtney Casey by decision and somebody else by decision. I thought that was more recently. Her
Poliana Batelli.
Yeah. Her cardio's been looking pretty good. That's why, if Kay Hansen's taking her down, like Jillian Robertson would take Kay Hansen down and choke her out. You know what I mean? I think Jillian Robertson's 2 times better than Kay Hansen, and Pierre barely beat her. She had to win the set. So I think, and then Jillian come down to 115. She's going to be in great shape. I think she's finally taking this serious. And at 27, let's see what she can do.
Saba saying the 3 judges for Bellator got leaked. Yeah, that'll be us. I wish we were judging that. That'd be awesome.
That would
Mushroom,
be sweet.
What is up? Everybody go check out my guy Mushroom. Bobby on the YouTube and on Twitter saying what's up to each of us.
Yeah,
very good. Here's our guy Dev in the house. The guy who called with his crystal ball the upset of Jacqueline Amorium. He tried to tell you guys. He tried to tell you guys, man.
She should have got choked out.
Nobody listened.
She should have got choked out, Dev. I like Sam Hughes though too, man.
Good to see you in here, Shady. Always supporting the channel. Yeah, MMA Jesus, man. We got to start taking his locks a little bit more seriously,
See, well, he knows what time it is. He told me he got that. He's got this savage, dude. You got to take Jillian Robertson here. Got to take her. Just like last week, Calvin Gastelum. It's just an easy call.
And what's up, Easy from Easy Picks and Bets? Good to see you in here, my friend. As always good to see Easy. And this is one of my anticipated fights of the entire card. Up next at light heavyweight, 205-pound bout between Ed Herman and Zach Cummings, 2 guys who we've not seen in the UFC in quite some time. If you have a confident lean on this fight, I would love to hear it. I certainly don't. All I have is narrative. I can go off of how these guys looked back in 2021 when Ed Herman surprised everybody and didn't get knocked out from Alonzo Menefield. He actually gained his respect with some strikes in that fight early on, kept Menefield at bay just long enough for him to gas out and ride out a decision result. Zach Cummings, we have not seen in like 3 years now, and the guy has actually been crippled for some of that time. He had like a horrible back injury, like a herniated disc. I think he might have gotten it operated on, but he was like laid up in bed for a long time, couldn't even do daily tasks. And he runs his own fight promotion too, I guess. So he's had a day job, and he kind of just like learned that he can, train and stuff again. And he just kind of wanted to close out that part of his career, since this is in his home city of Kansas City. So that's kind of why he's fighting on this card at 205. They probably think Ed Herman's a winnable opponent out of anybody. And the guy has he's announced, I saw an interview on the All-Star channel that he does probably consider this to be his last fight. Like, he wants to retire on top after this. So never a good thing when you hear that from a fighter, that they were hurt badly, between their 3-year-long layoff, and they plan to retire after this. Not good. So I'm taking Ed Herman just on principle of this should be a 50-50 fight. We don't know what we're going to see in the cage on Saturday. We don't know who's more washed up, the 42-year-old, the longest tenured, longest rostered fighter currently, Ed Herman, or Zach Cummings. So, I mean, I think Ed Herman gets like a late submission in this fight if I had to just guess and give a prediction. But just on principle, if the money line should be closer, I'll take Ed Herman as a pick. What do you got here?
Yeah, man. This is a terrible fight.
but good, but like a good fight though.
I don't
know. Like fun.
This is gonna be I'd just say I bet the over in this, dude. I freaking love the over in this fight. These two dudes are both low output.
You say you bet the over in this fight?
The over, I bet the over 2.5, and I parlayed that with the Jocelyn Edwards over 2.5.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah. Because listen,
first fight of the night and this fight are very important.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it was even money. But dude, these two dudes are low output, and they're both durable as hell, dude. And they're I don't expect them to throw more than like 15 punches a piece per round, to be honest. I don't really expect there to be no grappling. Like, if you watch Zach Cummings versus Trevin Giles, super low output. You watch Zach Cummings versus Alessio Di Chirico, super low output. If you watch Ed Herman versus anybody, both these guys are just super low output. They're big, old, tough, durable dudes. They're going to show each other respect. They ain't going to go in there and just have a firefight. That's not how either one of these dudes go. So yeah, man, I'm gonna take Zach Cummings by a boring ass decision. Maybe he drops Ed Herman once. That's how he usually wins. That's how he won. He dropped Trevin Giles and ended up subbing him late in the third round. He dropped Alessio Di Chirico in the third round, and that's how he won that decision.
At the final second.
Yes, and because I bet Di Chirico in that fight. I had him, and I just rewatched it. But yeah, but neither one of these dudes are finishers, really. And Zach Cummings is as tough as they come. He don't get finished, because Ed Herman, he got them late submissions and stuff. That's usually when dudes gas out. But I don't think either one of these guys are going to gas out. And if Ed Herman survived against Alonzo Menafield, he should be able to survive Zach Cummings. And I believe Zach Cummings can survive Ed Herman. So give me Zach Cummings by decision. No confidence in that. And then give me the over 2.5. I love it. I think this is going to be a super low output one.
Sorry, what's the number you got on the over 2.5?
Minus 190.
Okay. I mean, if there's a way to play this, it would be like they just stare at each other for.
That's what they're going to do.
Like they haven't been in the cage. I do agree with that for the most part,
And if you watch their fights, they're both low output. Neither one of them is landing over like 20 shots a round, if that.
No, like him and Di Chirico
was terrible.
And Di Chirico, yeah, there was kind of a fight that way.
Trevin Giles.
Ed Herman managed to just go to a decision with Menafield. Ed Herman hits hard. Like, he's probably the more dangerous fighter in this matchup, in my opinion. I think he's the more dangerous.
He's so slow though now, dude. He's like,
yeah, he's terrible.
He reaches back to 1983.
Yeah, he has like that lead. Punches. He's got like that lead left hook that he opens up wildly with, leaves his chin open.
He did catch Menafield with that early on in the first round and messed his eye up for a little while.
It's like the only reason that he managed to last in that fight. Like, he would just show him that he's got a little bit of old man strength left. And I
expect a lot of feints in this fight. A lot of "I'm gonna fuck you up," and they just, they're old as shit.
Like, if they feint too hard, they might like tear a knee or something.
Yeah, man. I like the
You
over.
know,
I
what
really
fight
do.
really pissed me off years ago? I was reminded of this last night doing the stream with our guy Couch Warrior. That fight with Ed Herman and Slow Mike Rodriguez a couple
Oh
of
yeah, where
years
he
ago.
tapped out, or he got hit in the stomach, and the ref said
Yeah,
the balls, so he got the recon.
right. Yeah, I forgot which ref it was, but I'm pretty sure I think I had Slow Mike Rodriguez of all people in like a
Oh
giant
man,
D-gen parlay where like there was no way Ed Herman was winning that
you
fight.
was pissed, huh? You were
Yeah.
super pissed.
And he sat there and they gave him 5 whole minutes to recover after getting, he should have been TKO'd. Terrible.
Yeah.
Comes back, gets the Kimura in round 3. I could see something similar like that
Crazy.
happening in this fight, but
yeah.
I'll be rooting for the overs. I'll be rooting for a very slow fight just for your sake. I'm going to stay back from betting anything in this fight. I think it's a very dangerous fight to bet. I'm surprised you're invested in this fight, but I like it. I like the angle. I like the
low output old dudes, dude, that are just one shot at a time. These dudes ain't throwing combo. They ain't throwing a combo since 07.
I heard Cumboy is talking about retirement. I mentioned that at the beginning. They should do a tandem glove lay after the fight, win or lose. Absolutely.
Both, yes. Yeah. That's where he goes to, dude. Herman.
No, they never corrected it. I think it might have. I think that fight actually might have led to the rule where they can use replay. I'm pretty sure that was one of the fights.
Hit him stomach shot, ended the fight.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but this was in the time during the Apex, I think, and I think it might have been like right before they changed that rule, and that was like a big part of it. I could be totally off and thinking of a different fight, but I think that's why it happened, because everybody in the Apex knew what happened except for the ref, and they weren't allowed to correct it because he had already given them the time. So
and that messed up. They just got to sit there and be quiet. Exactly. Everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
And the whole commentary booth was just like goofing on it, like, "Oh, this is a great acting job from Ed Herman."
Okay, man. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what they say.
But we go from that fight to one of the best fights on this entire card, still in the prelims, that flyweight 125-pound bout between Brandon Royval and Mateusz Nicolau. This is a fight I'm pretty heavily invested on. I got 2.5 units on Mateusz Nicolau. I think he gets the job done. I think even though he's low output as a counter striker, very technical on both the ground and at striking range. And I think Royval will open up some more activity from Nicolau as he rushes forward and just gives Nicolau no choice but to snipe him off. Royval, not great takedown defense. He just doesn't care if he gets taken down or not. He'll try to dive on a neck as opposed to stuffing a takedown. So give me Nicolau, man. The guy's on quite a streak now. He's 8-0 in decisions, and Royval, he's pretty much finish or bust. I mean, 2-4 in decisions as a flyweight. Never something I really want to get behind. So give me the guy with the better minute winning ability, decision equity, and the guy who's probably live to finish the fight as well. What do you think about the over or under in this fight? Do you think this gets finished one way or another?
Yeah, I bet the under. I bet the under 2.5. Brandon Royval, 7 of his last 8 fights have finished in under 2 rounds. Mateusz Nicolau, he's not so much of a finisher, but he can be because he's fighting dudes that are letting him skirt around the outside of the ring. He fought like David Dvorak, kind of just chased him around. A lot of stuff like that, and that's what he does. Like even Munhoz Cape, he'll let him skate around the outside of the ring, but Munhoz Cape wasn't trying to wrestle, grapple, just throw crate. He doesn't throw a ton of output anyways. Brandon Royval does, dude. He comes at you from the opening bell, throwing crazy kicks, and it's sink or swim with him. Even with Kai Kara France, with and Alexandra Pantoja, dude. I was worried. I had Pantoja. I had a big bet on Pantoja in that fight, and he was gassing Pantoja out. I thought like in the second round before Pantoja, like I don't know, he must have gassed out too because like Pantoja was gassing out, shot a weak takedown, didn't get it, and then ended up somehow getting a takedown, taking his back, and then just rear naked choked him. But before that, dude, he was giving him every single thing he could handle. Then he beat Kai Kara France. So it's tough to just count him out. I mean, I like Mateusz Nicolau. 8 fights, 8 knockdowns. Excellent counter striking. Like I said, he's skirt around the outside. He has good wrestling when he needs to use it. Pretty good jiu-jitsu, but he's not going to get the fight he wants. Like I'm picking Nicolau. I'm going to pick him to land a big shot because that's what he's waiting to do. He's going to love to have a dude like Royval. That's what he dreams of because he just skirts around the outside waiting to counter you, and Royval's going to give him tons of that. But Royval's so dangerous too, dude, that like he could hit him with a big knee, big kick, whatever, like he did to Kai Kara France and finish him. Because if you can finish Kai Kara France, you can finish almost anybody in this division. So I'm going to take Nicolau. I'm going to say he does catch him and then get some type of submission, club and sub, or even just a club. But this fight's going to be hectic chaos, dude. And Yeah, man, it's going to be close. But and Royval he's 3 inches taller, 4.5 inches of reach. That's not good either for all the striking. But I mean, I think Mateus Nicolau holds the grappling advantage and that counter striking. But this is going to be another crazy fight. I just bet the under and hope for chaos, to be honest.
Where would you set this money line? I got 2.5 units on Nicolau at -190. It's since moved up to about -200. Nicolau -205. Nicolau +175. Royval. Do you think that's about right? We're talking about like a 66 implied probability for Mateusz Nicolau to win.
I think in this fight,
there's gonna be a point in this fight where I'm gonna be scared. Anytime you bet against Royval, you're gonna have to clinch up for a second.
Yes.
Especially early on. But where would you set the line for this fight? Closer?
Yeah, to be honest, I would put Nicolau from -135 to -150.
Jesus.
Somewhere there. Yeah, Brandon Royval is dangerous, dude, everywhere, man. And he goes after it. And he's got some legit wins. You know what I mean? Tim Elliott, Kai France, and just his style is crazy. And say he puts such a crazy pace on Nicolau, and Nicolau starts folding like kind of Kai France did. Pantoja started to. It's going to be a tough one, man. I just think that this fight's going to be chaos, and either one could win. So I think it should be kind of close, just because Royval is so skilled, dude, and he's good, he's tough, he's dangerous, submissions, knockouts, whatever, and he just brings that crazy chaos, man. It's hard to pick this fight, and I like Nicolau, but I'm not high. Like I don't see him being like a champion or nothing. Like I don't think he could beat Pantoja. Nicolau and Kai France would be a hell of a fight, like that kind of stuff. And Royval, he went to the death with Kai France and then went real far with Pantoja. So it's hard to just make him +180 against Nicolau, who really ain't that dangerous. Like he's good, but he's not too dangerous. But he's gonna have to be tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I lost money on Kai France a few years ago betting against Royval. So try to come back for that cash here. But yeah, even when Royval is about to win a fight, like it's just dangerous. Like Matt Schnell dropped him and then he still pulled it out. So even if you can damage Royval, you're not out of the
it's chaos. So, it's all chaos, man. It's hard.
I'm gonna be wanting as little chaos as
possible. I'm rooting for you though.
You want a lot of chaos in this one.
No, I'm rooting for Mateus Nicolau to hit him with them big counter shots right off the bat and just choke him out.
Nice, clean, easy night,
I'm rooting for you to win. I want Mateus Nicolau, so now I want Mateus Nicolau.
What's it like -115, -120 for the under in this fight?
I got a -110, but yeah.
-110. I think it's around like -120 now for the under 2.5. I think
Propaholic got it like +135 or something crazy on my Discord. He's on my Discord and Patreon too. Okay. And posted thing +135. I think he got it.
Hey, Mr. Yeah, considered best a pucker fest, right?
You're gonna have the bet sweats on this one, but I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, Saba saying I wish Cody was an odds maker. We'd take that -135.
What did this fight start at? Can you know how to find out what the odds started at?
I don't really know where it opened up, but I can pull up like one of the odd sites. But let's see here. Where did it start off at? We're looking at Mateusz Nicolau. Where did he start off at? -165. Nicolau opened up. Yeah, so sounds about right. He's on a big win streak. More ways to win. Give me that, but we're just hoping for the unders, and I'm hoping for the Nicolau side. So I see some people in the chat had parlayed Nicolau up. I think even maybe Johnny as well.
Yeah,
pretty confident in him.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for him, dude. I'm rooting for you guys. So Nicolau needs that finish.
And I don't know where you stand on this next fight, but I think I can guess where you stand on this one. Featherweight bout to head off the prelims. Bill Algeo taking on downtown TJ Brown. Somehow that is a really fun nickname. I don't know why. It just seems like a fun one. But TJ Brown, kind of like a wrestle boxer, brawling style featherweight. Kind of inconsistent, but he can beat a certain level of competition. But going up into like the upper echelon, top 30 of the division, I just don't see it going too well for him most of the time. Can start pretty fast, can get a wrestling pace going, but he can't really carry a long pace. Bill Algeo, I'm not the most impressed with Bill Algeo either, but I think he's got, some improvements to be made. I just don't like that he gets taken down all the time. He's got good jiu-jitsu when he gets to the mat, but he gets taken down a lot. But it's getting better. He used to get taken down half a dozen times. Now it's taking Andre Fili until round 3 to score a knockdown. But the toughness of Algeo is good. The cardio is good. So I'll take him to win this fight. He's also got a sizable, like a size advantage in this bout as well. So that could lend to his striking at distance, keep TJ Brown at bay, maybe get a finish later in the fight, or just, score a decision win. But nothing I'm seeing, I want to bet on in this fight, to be honest. Help me out finding a bet in this one. Who do you have?
Yeah, I built Algeo. He's my lock of the card, man.
Ooh, lock. Okay.
Yeah, I put a big bet. I got 4.5 units at minus 150 on Bill
Okay.
Algeo. Dude, he's good. Like TJ Brown's okay. Decent wrestling. He didn't even wrestle in high school or nothing like that. He played college football and played football and stuff. Decent wrestling. He's got decent striking. He's not very powerful. He doesn't really hurt people. But dude, Bill Algeo is a dog. He is a dog of dogs. I'll tell you this, I bet against him. And every time I bet against him, I actually won with Ricardo Lamos and I won with Andre Fili. And I'll tell you, both of them fights, the whole time I'm like, oh my God, because all he does is get taken down and get back up and then throw combos. Like he doesn't get tired anywhere. Joe Anderson Brito. I bet Brito against him too. If he can beat Brito, he's beating TJ Brown, dude. Like TJ Brown's not good. Go look at he's not that good. Go look at his record. He lost to Danny Chavez. He lost to Jordan Griffin. People couldn't even smell the UFC no more. He should have lost. He lost to Shai Lin. He lost to Kai Kamaka. Says he won. I bet him in that fight. He didn't beat Kai Kamaka. He should be losing to all these dudes that shouldn't even be in the UFC. Bill Algeo, to me, man, he's good. He's good everywhere. He throws them long combos. He can get taken down, but if people take him down, he reverses it or he just hops back up. He's got one of the best get-up games I've ever seen in my life. Even Ricardo Lamos, these dudes couldn't hold him down, man. He just hops right back up. I like that. And then once he starts getting up and them dudes start getting tired, he starts using the wrestling and jiu-jitsu on them. He was taking Joe Anderson Brito down. Who else was he fighting? The Andre Fili fight was so close, dude. Luckily, Fili took it. Well, he broke his arm in the third round against Fili, and that's why when he got taken down,
I was reminded of that. Down. Yeah, I was reminded of that watching that fight over. I totally forgot that happened last September.
Remember the beating he threw on Herbert Burns? Made him quit from exhaustion. Just beat the brakes off him, dude. He beat Joe Anderson Brito.
You keep on bringing up that Joe Anderson Brito fight, and that's a fight that I compare. I'm not comparing Brito to TJ Brown, but the way that they fight and their skill set, like both like to strike, both have some takedown ability, and both guys tend to slow down. And that's what I think this is an easier version of that fight for Bill.
Way easier. Yeah, because dude, and Joe Anderson Brito is tough, bro. Like he can finish you on the ground and he can finish you standing. And I think he's way better. I think he finishes TJ Brown, to be honest. Joe Anderson Brito is a dog. And I'm just not high on TJ Brown. I've watched him fight every one of his fights, and I've had a lot of action on most of them. And I was laughing. Wasn't he a favorite against Shailin Nurdenbecki? Like, dude, he should never be a favorite to anybody in the UFC.
Like a sizable favorite.
Yeah, and guess what? I said last week, Shailin's not good. That dude's freaking not good either. And he went out there and just worked on TJ Brown. I tried to tell everybody I was yelling. Johnny wouldn't listen though, man.
God damn it, Johnny.
Damn it, Johnny. Tried to help you. What's that one lady? She's like, I'm trying to help you, motherfucker. But yeah, dude, Bill Algeo size advantage, 3 inches of height. They actually got pretty much the same reach, but I just like Algeo's cardio. I like his output, and I think that he can win the wrestling scrambles even. Like, I'm not high on TJ Brown, dude. He's not good. I don't even think he should really be in the UFC. Like I said, if he would have lost that fight to Kai Kamaka like he should have, he would be out of the UFC. But yeah, man,
he can beat a level of opponent. Like I cast him as a slight dog last time he fought against that newcomer Eric Silva. But that's just because we had like a newcomer finisher, and I'm always really skeptical to pick those guys as favorites. Like he was able to shut that down.
That dude was no good though. That dude's no good. Like
say what
Bill Algeo would throw
to Jeek Bay in the chat. Say what's up to Mushroom.
Good
to have you in here.
What is up, man?
Go to the MMA betting community, the Early Weigh-In podcast. What's going on, my guys? He's got 2 units on Algeo. We've got
nice
Tyler here thinking that you're correct on having a strong opinion on Bill Algeo. He's a 9 out of 10 confidence for him.
It's my boy Tyler too. He knows what's up. Yeah, the boy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you're putting some more confidence in me on Bill Algeo here. I'll tell you.
I love him. Like, lock of the week.
They're both 3-3 in the UFC. They both like to strike a little bit. They both like to grapple a little bit.
Look at his lineup. Yeah. Look at Bill Algeo's lineup. He's fought Ramos, freaking Spike Carlisle. No, but he did fight Spike.
I mean, that is a tough fight. Like, to say what you want about Spike Carlisle,
Spike's a beast. He really does. And he was out wrestling Spike Carlisle. That's what I'm saying. His wrestling's good. His jiu-jitsu's good. He's tough as shit. He's got the cardio. He's got the size. I like him. I mean, the first round is going to be tough because TJ's going to come out. He's going to throw some power. I mean, he throws. It's like weird. Like he hits hard, but it doesn't hit hard. Like it looks like he hits hard. Like he was cracking Shailin Nurdenbecki with good knees to the body, and it didn't even affect him whatsoever. Steve Garcia hits him with 1 or 2, and it's over. So Hey, Victor, what's up, man?
What's up, Victor? Good to
But
see you in here.
I love Bill Algeo, man. Every time that I bet against him and he lost, the whole time I'm sweating like, oh fuck, he's gonna win this fight. And I know when he gets this step down in competition, he's gonna win this fight. Just watch that Joe Anderson Brito. You'll know what you would.
Algeo sub plus 400. I wonder if
possibly
will have that better.
Possibly when TJ gasses, because TJ slows down too, man.
Algeo, here's more like it. Bill Algeo by sub on DraftKings plus 550. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. The thing about, like, I got the same complaint about, like, I don't like that Bill Algeo gets taken down all the time. Last thing I'll say on this, but TJ Brown, whenever he scores a takedown, you're like, oh, this is great. He just scored a takedown. He's on his back like a second later. Like, he gets reversed so easily, like every single time. Any fight you watch, like, he ends up getting a dominant position and then just falling onto his ass.
He has the lowest fight IQ in the fucking history of the world. First off, when he came in and fought Jordan Griffin, he shoots 34 takedowns in the first round and then gets choked out, right? Against Danny Chavez, I freaking bet him. He would not shoot a takedown. He just kept letting his leg get kicked off by Danny Chavez, who's terrible. Like, freaking terrible. And he wouldn't even shoot a takedown. He just kept taking leg kicks. Did you watch that fight? You didn't bet it, obviously. You have this energy if you did.
Yeah.
Dummy. He's a dummy, dude. And he's going to take a beating. Bill Algeo is going to – he might exhaustion beat him out in the third round. Because imagine Andre Feely would dog TJ Brown. You know what I mean? Andre Feely would dog him.
Absolutely.
And dude, I bet Andre Feely against him. And even at the end, Algeo was punching him with – I didn't know who won. And when they gave it to Feely, I was happy. He's a dog, dude. Bill Algeo is a junkyard dog, and I'm taking that every time.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's a pick we certainly agree on. I'm glad you're deep invested on that one, and
loving it.
I see Mushroom saying the round 3 or decision for
love that
Bill Algeo. I like that one, man, because we see TJ Brown slow down. So I'll be looking at maybe the finish props for Bill Algeo there. We saw that plus 550 submission, and yeah, man, we can move along. I think this does kick off the 6-fight main card. The return of the Carpenter, Clay Guida versus Rafa Garcia. And yeah, Bill, man, I love this fight. This is a fun fight because both these guys are kind of similar, man. Like Clay Guida is like an older version of Rafa Garcia in some regards. Like they both can brawl up close. They both can push a pace, get in their opponent's face. And we see Rafa Garcia pushing the takedowns a lot. And actually working with those positions pretty well. You know, a lot of good ground and pound in his last fight against Munhoz. Some good standing weapons as well. That was a big opponent for Rafa Garcia. He was able to land on the chin and put some pretty good work in. I'm going with Rafa Garcia here, but the money line's wide. You know, the money line is certainly could be a lot closer. You don't want to pay minus 255, minus 260. Wherever he's at now, let me see what it's at. Yeah, minus 270 it's going up to for Rafa Garcia. Clay Guida, the plus 230 dog. Like, I'm not jumping to the window on either side of this money line just because Clay Guida, he's been coming through, man. He's been alternating wins and losses, but he's also been alternating old and young opponents. You know what I mean? They've been feeding him some guys that are his age, like Scott Holtzman in his last fight, which was close. We saw a lot
on that fight.
We saw a lot of those takedowns were very labored, and he was not doing a lot with those positions. That's really why the fight was close in a split decision that went in Clay's favor. Whereas Rafa Garcia, he gets a takedown. There's no question he's working ground and pound. He's trying to cut you up with elbows. He's trying to advance position, maybe lock up a submission. So for all of these attributes, a huge age advantage in the favor of the 28-year-old. Is that how old he is? I'm trying. Yep. We got 41 for Clay Guida. Got to take Garcia on principle there, but what do you like? Do you like the overs in this fight, or do you think somebody gets a finish in here?
No, I like Rafa Garcia by decision, but at that line, I don't like the line because Rafa Garcia ain't gonna wrestle Clay Guida down. I can guarantee that, dude. Clay Guida's wrestling is phenomenal. The thing that would keep me off of wanting to parlay Rafa or bet him is the fact that just like, you know, a couple of years ago when Clay fought Marco Madsen couldn't even take Clay down, and that was a really tough, close fight in the standing because Clay is so awkward. I'm gonna favor Rafa's striking a little bit because I like how he looked against Munhoz. He had a couple with Jesse Ronson. He looked pretty decent before he choked him out. But it's that age, you know, just because he's younger. But these dudes are the same size, and he's just going to be chasing Clay around the ring the whole time, the cage and kick. You know, Clay's going to be coming in out with big shots, but he ain't going to hurt Rafa. And I don't think Rafa's going to catch Clay either and put Clay out. You know, it's been long. I think Jim Miller got him last time. And that was a long time ago. But Clay's look good, dude, and I just don't think that Rafa's wrestling is going to work here, and I don't think Clay's going to wrestle him. I think Clay will use the defensive wrestling, and it's just going to be a boxing match basically for 3 rounds, and I'm going to take Hoffa to land the bigger shots in there. You know, maybe he drops Clay once or something like that, but I don't think that he should definitely I mean, I get it because it's hard to even want to back Clay at plus 235, but it's like the line's out of hand. But it's like,
yeah.
But he could win because like if they don't grapple whatsoever, because like I said, I think Clay's still got the good enough wrestling to keep this thing standing, or maybe even try to land a takedown of his own. Because I think like who was the one dude? What's the one dude was able to take him down? The Natan Levy.
Sure.
Levy or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if he can,
that's a strange fighter because he's so his skill set is just so varied. It's very strange.
He's like a weird striker, and then he does is
karate
grapples.
fighter with
and then he grapples, but you can tell he's not like he's just so strong and not like a real technical grappler. He just grabs goons and tries to goon people.
Yeah,
but
very strange guy.
Maybe Clay could land a takedown. I mean, he's taking down Holtzman, but it's a risky fight, dude, because Clay's still alive at this age, and I don't know. You know how excellent Hoffa is. And he's got, like I said, he's not the fastest dude. And he's just going to be chasing Clay around, trying to walk Clay around the ring. Clay's going to be doing his shit with fucking hair going bald spot out, doing all that. And
yeah.
I just think it's going to be a close fight. But give me Hoffa by decision. But I think this is going to play out pretty close, man.
From because here's the thing, like from a live betting perspective, I'd say jump off of the Garcia train if he almost finishes Clay Guida in round 1 and can't get the job done.
Oh my God, I bet him against Grutzmacher, dude. I bet Hoffa big again. Remember he did that? He gassed out against Grutzmacher. Yeah.
But like that, the opposite is also true. Like from the opposite perspective, like if you that's the way that Rafa loses his fight. If he almost finishes Clay Guida, gets him in serious trouble in round 1, can't finish him, and comes out in round 2, and Clay Guida is still a cardio machine, still durable. Then he starts landing takedowns. He makes it a sketchy fight. That's when you got trouble on your hands. You know what I mean?
Santos.
Yeah, the Leonardo Santos fight is a prime example of that, but also a guy his age and also a guy who's kind of a gas bag. But that could happen to anybody. If you try to finish somebody at the end of round 1, you're for sure 100% in your head you're going to finish them, and they come back in round 2, and you've got to do it all over again. 10 more minutes with Clay Guida.
It's almost the same thing. Think about it. Chris Grutzmacher is like the same fighter as Clay Guida, just not as good. And that's what Hoffa did. Hoffa came out there, knocked him down in the first round, like clocked him, knocked him down, went for the finish, didn't get it, and then gassed the hell out. And Grutzmacher beat him up the next 2 rounds. So that could give you a flashback. But
that's what I'd be worried about.
Good point, dude. Excellent.
Otherwise, I'm good on this one. I like the overs in this spot quite a bit.
Yeah,
man. I mean, I know that there's the juicy, obvious play that's dangling out there, which is Rafa Garcia's submission, since Clay Guida's been submitted a lot.
Right.
I like the reasoning, but the books are over it. They're only giving us like plus 300 for this one. So
usually when Clay's getting submitted, it's when he's taking people down though too.
Yeah, he puts his head on the outside, gets guillotined. So
dude, that's his takedown though. That's how he does it. And yeah, man.
Yeah, but we're on the same side of that one. We can move on to another fight I'm pretty well invested in on this card. Pedro Munhoz taking on Chris Gutierrez at bantamweight. Fun fight, and if Dana White's watching this, I think he should abandon power slap and do like a leg kicking slap contest where they just hammer calf kicks on each other one at a time. You never know and that's what would be the advantage of this besides power slap. Is like power slap, the guy's not going to break his arm most likely, but there's a chance you could break your own leg on
Yeah,
because what if they're allowed to check kicks in this league? That would be dope.
That would just be broken legs.
It's just Conor McGregor versus Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman. Just
with
the three leg break kings of
and they all know
it'd be great.
Who else? Who was the one? Corey Hill.
Corey Hill. Yep. Yeah, that was the first one. That was nasty. But aside from that, that's something that we can just take note. Next time we hang out with Dana White, we'll pitch that to him. But I do have 2.5 units on 2 units on Chris Gutierrez. I did one of your plays. You've inspired me to do this. It's something I haven't been doing in a while, but cross event parlays. I used to do this a lot, but since I'm doing content and always barely on top of my shit for 1 week, I'm rarely am I like several events ahead. But Gilbert Burns cashed the first leg of this, and now I've got minus 123 riding with Chris Gutierrez. 2 units on him here.
Excellent.
And even at this number, dude, I think he wins. The trouble you're going to have across from Pedro Munhoz is he's so fucking durable that you're going to have to assume you have to out-volume this guy, keep him at bay for 3 rounds, right? So But I like all the striking weapons for Chris Gutierrez. The guy's so dynamic. He's only getting better. 31 years old. Looks like he's a lot more improved than the guy that we saw enter the UFC, and he's on a giant unbeaten streak. So give me Chris Gutierrez. Just use the flashy dynamic striking, switch stances on Pedro Munhoz, keep him at bay, and score a decision victory. That's how I see this going down. I think Pedro Munhoz's best days are behind him, man. A 36-year-old bantamweight who has all the experience advantage, but he's a little bit one-dimensional at this point, in my opinion. What do you got in this fight?
Yeah, man. This is another crazy one. Like I'm gonna take Chris Gutierrez by split decision. I know you guys like to do your props. I might even end up going to the casino on a split decision on this because check this out. Chris Gutierrez has had 5 split decision wins. Pedro Munhoz has had 4 split decisions in his career. That's 9 split decisions between these dudes. And I think
that's a lot.
It's a ton of them. Chris Gutierrez, like I like him, like he's good, but he fights to the level of his opponents. He never goes in for the kill. He dances around, lands a shot or two, takes off. It's a point contest always. Even when I bet him when he fought like Felipe Colares, it was so close. Like he makes fights close, and he really don't knock people out unless it's old ass Frankie or Vince Morales hit him with the leg kicks. All his fights are close, dude. And Pedro Munhoz is so good. Like he arguably won the first round against Sean O'Malley. You know what I mean? He's still pretty good. It's just that he's been fighting the top of the food chain. Like what would Chris Gutierrez's record be right now if he had fought the last people that Munhoz has been fighting? I think it would be good. No, like Jose Aldo. He's got like people like that. Munhoz. I mean, the Frankie one wasn't all that good. I just think that it's going to be close. I think Gutierrez takes this younger dude. He's not even that much younger. He's like fucking 31, almost 32. But he's a little younger. He's a little bigger. He's got the 3 inches of height, 2 inches of reach. I actually like Pedro's boxing better than Chris Gutierrez's boxing. Their leg kick game's good. Both of them got the same leg kick game. But I think that like you figure maybe even Pedro Munhoz being shorter might be able to check the leg kicks a little better, having littler legs. This is going to be a super close fight. The only other thing that worries me too is I'm going to give the grappling to Pedro Munhoz. He doesn't use it much, but he could maybe in this fight because like we seen Chris Gutierrez go to draw with Cody Durden. Cody Durden was on short notice up a weight class, took him down, took his back, held his back for the whole first round, got a 10-8. So I'm not as high on Chris Gutierrez as a lot of people. The last one over Frankie Edgar, Frankie's so old, dude. And Corey Sandhagen showed you how to do that. But give me Gutierrez. I feel bad because I'm putting like all this, like all these big favorites. I'm like making it seem, but like, dude, these are closer fights than these lines say. I think Pedro Munhoz is definitely no bum up. And it's going to be close. But I'm going to take Gutierrez, but I like the split decision. I would like to go bet. How much is the split decision prop on this fight?
Usually the just like standard price is plus 450. I would imagine since they have so many splits, it will be around that, but I don't think is it out yet? Let me check. And what do you think about the overs in this fight in general? Isn't it like minus 220 for the over in this one?
Yeah, I like the over. I do like the over.
Over minus 215 for the over 2.5.
The only one getting a finish in this fight is Pedro Munhoz. He's never been finished in his whole life, in his whole career. You know what I mean? And he fought beast mode dudes. So I don't see no finish happen. I don't think Pedro finishes Chris Gutierrez either.
To win by split plus 400. So since they're taking into account a little bit the fact that they both fight to a close, and just because it's favored to go over, at a high clip, plus 400 for the split. And then whenever you play that, like Lou Bet, you taught me, man, you got to play both guys by split as well, just because it's if you cash, that's an instant cash. Just put like, if you're doing, 25 on the fight or 50 to go to split, just put like $10 on.
And you're going to hit 2 out of 3 if it does go.
Yeah. So that's,
I like that. I might end up, if I got time, if I get off early enough tomorrow, I might go to the casino, or maybe I'll go Friday. We'll see. But yeah, I like it.
And then Pedro to win by split plus 1,100, Chris to win by split plus 600. Man, I just don't think it's gonna be that close. But if you got to lean on a split, man, go for it with these judges, man. We're back in Kansas City for the first time in like 7 to 10 years. It's been a long time.
Well, because
God only knows what the commission's gonna be like.
It's hard for Chris Gutierrez to ever pull away in his fights because it's not like we can come out here and he's just gonna put a pace, box up Pedro Munhoz, or like just because his leg kicks take time to go over the fight. And then he's not going to do no takedowns, get a submission, get elbows. Like he fights really quick. He's a point fighter, basically. He wants to hit you with the punch and a leg kick and then dip away, move around. And that's what Pedro does too. So
And I will say, a lot of his fights for Gutierrez have been close because of the wrestling of his opponent, right? The only reason he's got a draw on his record is because Cody Durden was able to wrestle him and take him down and then get outstruck like 2-1. Same thing happened with Felipe Colares. He, gained like a couple minutes of control time in each round. So that's why these are going to split. And that's something I look for when I look at split decision props. It's usually, for me, it's a striker versus grappler, because the judges never know what to do when one guy's got, 3 takedowns, the other guy's got, a little bit more striking. They always get confused by that. That's always a good spot for a split. But
I think we got to agree at this point, Pedro Munhoz is way better than a 125 Durden and Felipe Colares. Like, Pedro Munhoz is only 36. Like, he's still kind of young and he's still got it. I know it doesn't look like it because he's fighting savages, but he just beat Jimmy Rivera like a couple years ago. And Jimmy Rivera is tough, dude. Well-rounded, tough dude.
That was his last win, right? Early 2020, early 2021.
Kicked his leg out, took Jimmy off his whole game plan,
February of 2021, Jimmy Rivera.
That's a little over 2 years ago. Yeah. And that's a good win, dude. Jimmy, what would you cap Jimmy Rivera and Chris Gutierrez at? Probably the same, because he can't check a leg kick, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know how I would cap that now, just because Rivera is out
of the UFC and stuff.
Yeah, he's out of the UFC, and it's been so long. Like,
he was Rivera decent fighter, though.
He was consistent for the most part. Like, he only lost to upper level competition, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he beat Cody Stamann. I bet Cody Stamann against him. He beat Cody Stamann. Stamann's pretty good.
All right, Mushroom. I'll put it on the list of things to talk about with with Dana White.
Yeah.
Dude, it would be scary hanging out with Dana White. Like, I feel like that guy's got a little bit of Conor McGregor in him. Like, you don't know if he's going to just slap the shit out of you or, some crazy shit's going down.
I like him. I got a little bit of that in me. that's how I get crazy.
I've calmed down a little bit, but I can still get reckless. But we can move on to the next fight.
We might have to clear out the old Bellator then.
Yeah, we might have to. I know Johnny can get reckless after a couple of Millers, Couple of Miller Lights,
fuck
man.
All you guys. Yeah. He's like Nurmagomedov.
I went to Bellator with him in November, man. I had to hold him back. He was fighting people.
I heard I seen Delete say there after he seen him in Austin. He's trying to talk to his wife. He said he seen him there, squared up on him, but Delete said he didn't want no parts of it.
Yeah, man. In the main event that night at Bellator, it was kind of a boring matchup, and Johnny said, "Fucking do something, pussies!" And he threw his beer bottle in the octagon. Dude. I had to talk him from kicking him out.
Jesus, sounds like that's the Johnny I know. That's the Johnny I know.
We got to handcuff him to the seat eventually.
Ain't no more black cats on the damn screen during our things. We all lost.
That's why I lost last
Everybody lost. All that damn screen when that damn black cat came out, man. Come on, man.
Dude. But speaking of reckless, man, we can go on to Tanner Boser taking on Ian Cutelaba. Tanner Boser going down to 205 for this fight. And, he should after his last fight because he weighed in at like 229. Sloppier guy against Rodrigo Nascimento, who outweighed him by like 35 pounds. Cost me a lot of money that night because there was no way that fight was going to the scorecards. Rodrigo Nascimento never been to decision at all. And, guess who took him there? Tanner Boser took him there and then lost the decision because he got out-wrestled from the bigger, fatter grappler. So, I mean, I'm on the opposite side of Tanner Boser in this fight. I think Cutelaba, even though I'm not trusting him anymore, I lost a shoey bet to Johnny K. Picks last time they fought. You can't trust the decision making, but I can trust his wrestling. Greco-Roman, Sambo background, judo background, all of these things that require you to get people to the mat with efficiency. He's pretty good at that, and I think he can do it to Tanner Boser in this fight. So my weird take on this fight, and I think I'm going to throw down on it like a quarter unit because it just seems off to me. Cutelaba by decision is plus 700 on DraftKings. Like, it just seems off. Like, I feel like this could go to decision. Like, Ian Cutelaba could manhandle Tanner Boser early, gas out late. That goes to decision. Maybe there's a chance he gets his hand raised. I don't know. What do you think about that prop? Like, who wins this fight, first of all?
My prediction is Ian Cutelaba by decision.
Are you fucking with me?
No, that's what I see. I see it looking like the Devin Clark fight. Tanner Boser can't get off his back.
Look at our boys here, man. They're betting the same thing. The over 1.5 and Ian decision plus 700.
Excellent. Because, man, dude, if you look at the Devin Clark fight, he went to decision with Devin Clark, beat him up, took him down. These dudes that he takes down, when they don't get back up, he can lay on him and beat him up when he ain't fighting Ryan Spann and all these other dudes that are able to use good jiu-jitsu and get up. Tanner Boser does nothing, bro. He gets taken down and he's down. he got up against Ovin St. Preux and then knocked Ovin St. Preux out, but he grabbed the fucking fence and climbed up it, dude, to get up, and the ref should have put him back down, really. Tanner Boser is good. He's got the good striking and stuff, but his takedown defense is terrible and his get-up game's terrible. And I think Ion Cutelaba is going to be able to take him down. He could get him out of there. He could get him out of there, you know, in the first round when he goes nuts. But I don't know how we're going to see. Boser's tough, dude. If this stays standing, obviously Boser's winning. But Boser's getting taken down. And I don't know, man. I just think that I think that Cutelaba can take him down every round, beat him up, hold him down, do some work. Even if he gets back up, I think he can take him down. And then you never know. Even Boser, it should help him to become down to light heavyweight, getting in better shape. But you never know how his gas tank's going to hold up, cutting all that weight and doing that. So, weird fight. I ain't betting nothing. But I am picking Cutelaba by decision. I think that if he plays it smart, he can hold, just because, like I said, in fact, Tanner Boser cannot get off his back, dude. He could get taken down all 3 rounds, get beat up, and that's what Devin Clark did. He just survived, you know. And Tanner Boser's pretty tough. I think he can take the little ground and pound and stuff, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm not betting it, but I do like it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the chat beat me to it. And I was talking about how big plus money the Cutelaba decision is. Mushrooms on it. Our boys at the Early Weigh-In podcast are on it.
Nice.
It's crazy. Yeah, Herb Dean talking about it. Yeah, that's what I saw when I did my full card breakdown. And I was actually kind of happy with that. I was considering throwing down on that, but waited for the bigger books, and DraftKings now plus 700.
Nice.
But yeah, if you go deeper into like Ion Cutelaba, who he's been fighting, like, yeah, he's a wild man, and he really did engage against not only Khalil Roundtree, but Magomed Ankalaev both times got knocked out. But Dustin Jacoby almost finished him, but he slowed down and went to a draw. Devin Clark smothered him. But Ryan Spann, finisher. Johnny Walker, finisher. Kennedy and Zetriku, finisher. So these guys are kind of bringing it out of him, and finishing the fight. So this is more of like Tanner Boser, even though he's had some finishes in the UFC, he's more of a point fighter, to be honest.
Karate. He's a karate background.
Yeah, and he's fought some like chinnier guys towards like the back half of their career and knocked him out.
Felipe Lins.
Yeah, guys like Felipe
Paseo or whatever.
Yep. So this, okay. I'm glad everybody's on my side here, man, talking about that. So it's a crazy bet. It's a bet where it's like you just don't invest heavily on that decision prop because it is still Ion Cutelaba. He's a wild man and does not make good choices. But Tanner Boser's been on the wrong side of a lot of grappling-based decisions. Alir Latifi, people like that, his last fight against Nascimento. So, yeah, we're on the same side of that one. The reasoning's there. That's my favorite bet on this fight. But otherwise, I don't know. The money line of Cutelaba, like, do you trust him on a money line bet?
I don't trust him at all. I don't trust this fight at all. He's the most untrustworthy mofo. And then there's a lot of questions about Boser. Like, if this was up, I don't even know, man. Even to say Cutelaba went up to heavyweight and fought Boser there, it'd still be a lot of questions because Cutelaba's gas tank, fight IQ, all that stuff, heart. And then Boser, can't get off his back. So it's like it's hard for me to back Boser here to think that he's going to stop this wrestling, man. So
yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's Viking about like just a quarter unit, like 25 at plus 700. Yeah. He got 20 on him at plus 750. Yeah, we're going to be about the same investment.
0.2 to win 1.5 is excellent. That's good. I like it. Boser's tough as shit. So, and if you expect Cutelaba to win, I don't know if he finishes them. Maybe, but
another light heavyweight bout up next. Dustin Jacoby versus Azamat Murzakanov. This is a fun fight, man. I like both these guys just from like a just entertainment value perspective. Dustin Jacoby, more of the point fighter, but really good technique. Really fun to watch his kickboxing. It's on point out of both stances. Azamat Murzakanov, fun to watch because all of his regional fights are like one-hit knockouts. He can swarm people, smell blood, and finish them, but he is more one at a time with his striking. So it's going to be like the bigger moments, potentially fight-ending ability for Azamat Murzakanov, the slight underdog at plus 145. Is that? Oh, that's moved a little bit. The line's tightened up. Dustin Jacoby is sitting at around minus 150, minus 165. Azamat Murzakanov plus 130, plus 135. Yeah, I mean, that's not so enticing anymore for Murzakanov. Like, he has to get the perfect shot off, follow up appropriately, and end the fight. Whereas Jacoby, he's going to have the output, the slick stance switching. He does decently against southpaws. I like him to win this fight. I got 2.5 units on Dustin Jacoby at minus 171. So I missed the line. Like, I didn't think it would come down this way. Am I missing something? Why is there so much Murzakanov love, Cody?
I picked Murzakanov by decision. just because a lot of that though too, I do think he can win, but with the line, I had that. I mean, at that time the line is plus 160. And I think Murzakanov is better than Khalil Roundtree. I think he could beat Khalil Roundtree. I like his pressure. I like him being able to hold dudes up against the cage. He's got that explosive striking, super fast. One thing I seen too is when he fought Tafan, man, he wasn't in near as good a shape as he was against Devin Clark, dude. And Devin Clark's tough as shit. We just seen against Dao and Jung how good he did. I think Devin Clark and Dustin Jacoby would be a pretty good fight. But Azamat, dude, he's got good striking. He's got power. He's got fast hands. Then he's got some grappling and he's got some ground and pound. Now, I don't know if he'll be able to get Dustin Jacoby down. I've seen Dustin Jacoby get taken down. I've seen Dustin Jacoby get knocked down. But yeah, man, I wanted to bet him. Him and Zellhuber, I had them wrote down. I could have still got Murzakanov at plus 155. But I also see fucking Jacoby picking him apart from range all night. You know what I mean? Because Dustin Jacoby's good. So I like to pick I want to pick the fights that don't have two really good dudes in it. The line was off. I don't think Dustin Jacoby should have been minus 200. About minus 150 is good. He's beat the better people. He's got the better kickboxing background and stuff. But Azamat's an undefeated Russian, you know, and he's tough and he's good everywhere. And I think that he can get some control time here. And I think that he's going to be able to handle the striking. And it could be another thing where Dustin Jacoby pieces him up most of the fight, and then Murzakanov lands big shots throughout it. Busts up his face, maybe drops Jacoby because, like you seen Cutelaba beat the shit out of Jacoby in the first round. That's why it was a draw because he got a 10-8 in the first round. Yep. Maxine Grisham dropped Dustin Jacoby. Like he's been dropped a good amount of times, man. So yeah, just as a giant underdog, give me Murzakanov. Even money, give me probably Dustin Jacoby, you know, or as the line gets closer. So that's why I end up staying away from it. I thought there was a lot of value on Murzakanov at plus 155, and he's been looking in better shape. So.
Did he look physically in better shape from the Tafan and Chukwi fight and the Devin Clark one? Physically
yes.
He looked better?
Yeah, physically. He looked better to me. He looked in way better shape. And then his cardio was checking out. He was still throwing bombs in that third round. You know what I mean? Because in that first fight against Tafan, he kind of looked tired. And by the second round, he tried to wrestle a little bit and stuff. But like I said, he looked not as chubby in that Devin Clark fight. And he looked a lot more crisp. And yeah, Khalil did lose. Trust me. I bet. Dude, I was on it. That snapped the 9-week winning streak.
You would still be on that winning streak to this day.
Yeah. That and Johnny's Black Cat, man. Other than that, you know, I'd be undefeated.
Azamat Murzakanov to win knockout plus 300 on DK.
I don't know if he knocks him out. Because Dustin Jacoby's is freaking durable, dude. But
yeah, he's only been knocked out by, I think, King Mo Lawal back in Bellator is the only one to knock him out to this point. But he has been dropped several times, like you mentioned. Yeah, and you saw the knees of Khalil Roundtree, really the things that gave Dustin Jacoby problems and why he lost that fight on the scorecards. Technically, it was because of that. Murzakanov has those nice knees, as we saw.
Yes, he does.
And Chukwi. It's really about the follow-up. Like, if he can hurt Jacoby, it's the follow-up shots are usually very accurate. Like, Murzakanov will hit you with a nice stick you with that straight left out of the southpaw, and then the right hook is right there, always on the money. He always lands it when he falls. So
I would say that Devin Clark did land some nice head kicks on Murzakanov in that fight in the first round. So, you know, that's what I'm saying, man. I like Dustin Jacoby being 5 inches taller with 7 inches of reach if this stays in a kickboxing fight. So that's why I stayed away, because I'm a Jacoby fan, man. I do. He should be on a 9-fight win streak right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, very tough, very tough. But it's so hard to bet against the 12-0 Russian. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough bet.
Yeah, and that's what I was leading towards earlier when we were talking about Piera Rodriguez and Julian Robertson. It's like when you have that, like a Piera Rodriguez 9-0, like they usually give respect in that line. Same in this one of the 12-0. Russian tax last name fighter. I think there's a little bit of respect on that too. I'm just surprised the line's been moving as strongly as it has in the favor of him. But yeah,
Dustin Jacoby fights a lot.
This is a really good point as well. We didn't bring this up. The fact that Azamat Murzakanov is 33, dude, bullshit.
Yeah,
there's no way.
That dude's 41. Come on, Reggie. At least 30, Reggie.
I think in like he didn't read English well, and then when they asked his age, he thought how long he's been training for. He put that on there.
Him and Olenek came in the game together, man.
Yeah, he's like, how many years of professional experience do you have? 33 years. That dude is old, man.
Yeah, he's about 42, but I'm telling you, he looked in good shape, and He looked good against Devin Clark, man. He looked real good. I mean, he was hurting Devin Clark with a lot of stuff, man.
I guess I can see some even your boy Jaden in here. I guess I can see some love on here. These are the people moving that Murzakanov line.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all in this chat, man.
Yeah, he's a beast. They're both beasts. That's why I stayed away. I'm gonna watch it as a fan. This is gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a fun fight to watch.
All that aside, Dustin Jacoby is one of my more confident picks in this card somehow. So maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe it'll be dicier.
No, maybe he just pieces him up. But man, he
hopefully
freaking keeps it close because Jacoby don't really finish nobody other than Dawoon Jung and Darren Stewart. You know, otherwise he's fighting close fights, draws, close fights, man. So that's why it's tough. But
yeah, we can move on to the co-main event at featherweight. This is an epic fight, man. I love Edson Barboza. He's taking on Billy Q. And it's surprising that Edson is 37 years old, man. I was still a young buck, dude. I took a train to Detroit one weekend to go see BJ Penn fight Matt Hughes. And and it was the night that Edson Barboza made his debut against Mike Lulo. Kicked his legs clean off, TKO'd him upon his debut. He was 25 years old that night, man. He's 37 now. Slowing down just a bit. It's sad to see somebody who is so athletic slow down just a bit, but that is nitpicking. The guy still moves very, very well in round one. His Muay Thai is on point. Like all Brazilians, he does have some credentials in BJJ, but you never really get a chance to see that. And that's where he suffered. Barboza can get taken down, but man, maybe it's a product of like where his career went at 155 and at 145, but he's fought a ton of really, really good wrestlers, and those guys can get him down. I'm not sure about Billy Q. That guy's not very accurate in round one with his takedowns. He usually has to wear people down first before he can secure that wrestling offense. So I'm leading the dog here. This is a classic example of what we call in mixed martial arts a sniper versus zombie matchup. You've got the sniper in Barboza, going to just use those long weapons, keep Billy Q at bay. But sniper versus zombie, man, we got a good marksman in Barboza, but does he run out of ammo as this fight goes on? Who are you taking here?
Yeah, man, I got Edson Barboza. I was Billy Q before tape. I was Billy Q. I'm going to bet Billy Q, right? I'll watch tape. I'm betting Barboza, dude. Billy Q, he's not that good. First of all, if you look at his record, like you can see anytime he took a step up in competition, he got beat. And he didn't even take large steps up. We're talking like Gavin Tucker, Burgos. The thing is he's a zombie and he's tough as hell. But the way to get to him is leg kicks, man. If you go watch Shane Burgos, he beat the shit out of him with leg kicks, right? Barboza, if you go watch Barboza fight Shane Burgos like 2 years ago, he beat the shit out of Burgos with leg kicks. Like he was fucking Burgos up with leg kicks and punches, ended up finishing with that weird punch to the head where Burgos beat the shit out of Billy Q. Billy Q striking, he's a dog, and so he's not technical at all, and he's slow, man. Like Alexander Hernandez, if he didn't gas out, he beat the shit out of him and was going to keep beating the shit out of him, you know what I mean? But he don't have a gas tank. I'm saying this, I like Billy Q. I like him as a fighter. When he's fighting these lower level dudes like Spike Carlisle and stuff, he's going to have a really, really good fight, and he's a dog. But when he's fighting a technical striker like Edson Barboza, he's not going to get a takedown on Barboza. I know people think Barboza just easily gets taken down, but that's like Khabib. That's like freaking Bryce Mitchell. Like we're talking D1 wrestlers, man, or better. You know, Burgos tried to take him down. He couldn't take him down. And I put Burgos and Quarantillo up there. Another thing I like is Edson Barboza is 1 inch taller with 5 inches of reach on freaking Billy Quarantillo. And Edson Barboza still looks good. He didn't look good. He doesn't look good against them D1 wrestlers. They're going to get him down like what's his name did. But against Burgos, like that kind of fight, like a dude that's like you're saying, like a zombie that just keeps coming forward, give one to take one, he's still too slick for them. And Burgos has slick striking, way slicker striking than Billy Q. So I'm really high on Edson here. I know he's 37. I know he's coming off 2 losses or whatever, but Billy Q has never fought anybody as good as Edson Barboza in his whole career. And if you look at his wins in the UFC, it's like Kyle Nelson, Gabriel Benitez. His best wins, Alexander Hernandez, and that was a mistake. He gasses at 155 to cut down to 145 and try to fight. But yeah, man, this is a levels thing again to me. You know, I think this is recency biased on seeing Billy Q beating up low level guys and then seeing Barboza get beat up by super high level guys. And now this is a step down for Edson Barboza. Billy Q is 34 years old too. I know Barboza's 37, but it's not like It's not like he's that much younger. And the dudes that give Barboza the problems are wrestlers. And Billy Q ain't that good of a wrestler. So I'm taking Barboza, man. I think Barboza tears up that lead leg with kicks, dude. And you got Billy Q switching stances. His wrestling's not going to be good. And I think by the middle of that second round, I think Barboza's already tore that leg up, dude. I don't think he finishes him, but I think it just adjusts his whole game. Billy Q is tough as they come. But
yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this fight. And like you and I, we spoke about this last week, I believe, maybe on the pre-fight stream. But like when you see a guy that's been around for a while, like these legends, and now Barboza is old enough to fall in that category. Like sometimes you have that vision of him in the past of being better. You think of his best moments and you forget like the slowdown, like him slowing down a bit. So that worries me, but I'm glad you're on it as well. I don't feel as biased just because he's one of my favorite fighters. I did put a round 3 finish prop in for both of these guys, 0.15 units on each in round 3. You know, because it was plus 1,000 for Billy Q. That's like a must sprinkle spot. Plus 2,000 for Barboza. So if he can wear down Billy Q with damage over this fight, the way he did like a Dan Hooker, you know, or even Shane Burgos, both of those were round 3 accumulation of damage performances for Barboza. I like those. Plus 385 for KO from Barboza if it happens that way, you know, but I think it would be later in the fight. And man, I got to say, if you're on the Billy Q side, wait until after round 1, you know, live bet it if you have that option available, because it'll look a lot better at that point. He's probably not going to finish Barboza in round 1. He's either going to win inside the distance in 2 or 3 or by decision. So I would bet him after the first round is over. So probably a better number on him there. I think a lot of people, JR MMA in the house, saying, yeah, Billy's going to drown him, take him to deep waters. Could happen, dude. Could happen. But like Cody mentioned, that Shane Burgos fight was big for me in picking Barboza here. Like, you know, it wasn't that long ago. It was May of 2021. Mm-hmm. Barboza methodically picked apart Shane Burgos from like 2.5 minutes into round 1 until the very end in round 3. Yep. And we saw the war that happened just a few months later between Burgos and when he lost to Shane Burgos. So I mean,
yeah, when he beat Billy Q, and he tore up. And Burgos is a leg kicker, and Barboza tore his leg up. He was switching stances within like 3 minutes. Like the first kick that Barboza landed on Shane Burgos, it was like holy shit, because his leg buckled a little bit. Like the first one was solid as shit. So I think he's still got it. I think he's still got enough for Billy Quarantillo. You know what I mean?
And we're talking about it was unacceptable. He was so timid about those takedowns.
That's what it is. That's it's the same part of it. It's the same thing as Conor McGregor getting knocked down by Khabib. When you're waiting for the takedown and they fake a shot and come over, it's a George Masvidal getting knocked out by Usman. Shit just happens when you're expecting
at the same time. Would that have happened to a 27-year-old Edson Barboza? Maybe not. You know what I mean? So there's some of it, but maybe
for sure. But he did drop him for sure. I bet Mitchell in that fight. That's why it's different. Like you got to fade different spots. I bet Mitchell in that spot because the wrestling, you know, it's a big difference. But whenever you're talking, I don't think Billy Q's wrestling is going to work here. And when you're talking just straight up, your intro's fire.
I made that like a couple of glasses of whiskey deep one night. I should update it with some different clips from different old school fights, but you know. Yeah. I put a lot of my favorites in there. Not enough Vitor in that one though. You got Overeem, you got BJ Penn, but I gotta have a Vitor clip in there. But yeah, man. So we're kind of on the same side here, but I'm just looking to probably play this from a props perspective, or you know, after round 1, if I am in a live betting spot, you know, there's a chance I will take Billy Q. But that round 3 sprinkle for either guy, man, I think that's a must-hit spot here. Both guys can get it done. But we move on to the main event at featherweight. We got 33 of you guys in the live chat. Thank you, Cody, for joining me tonight.
No problem.
Thank you all for joining an earlier version of this live stream to accommodate my awesome guest, Blood Money MMA Bets. Check out his YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and most importantly, his Patreon in the description. Go check that out. Show some love for a super sharp bettor. You're always super transparent with all of your bets, accountable every week, and just give them the best information. And super early in the week too. You and Johnny K are two of those guys that's like you're always getting it done on Saturday or Sunday. And
try to get it out Sunday, so then I don't have to do it.
I'm always feeling behind. You know, whenever I see you guys, I'm like, God damn it, they dropped it again.
You do everything. Behind. You're out here working, powerlifting, freaking tape studying. You do the correct amount of tape studying. For people that don't do tape study, dude, it's tough, dude. It's 10, 12 hours in a week. Yeah, sometimes, especially for these 14 fights. Bro, it takes me an hour just to write out the damn fights. Write out the dudes' names on my thing, just write out the heights, all that. And then But yeah, man,
And you know me, I do it in like 2-day long spurts too, where like I'll just like leave to go to the gym, come back, and it's like my whole weekend. I don't even
yeah,
sleep. So
yes, that's what I've been doing on my Sundays and Fridays the whole day, dude. It's tough.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, this is not like I'll sacrifice it to like a lot of these guys from the East Coast. They're already like an hour ahead of me, and then they want to do it like after going to jujitsu or jerking
Yeah.
off, whatever, and they want to get it done at like 10:30 at night. I'm like, what? Okay, for the sake of the guest, I'll always accommodate and I'll do it late, but it is nice to get it done early. But we can move on to this featherweight bout. Former champion, future Hall of Famer Max Holloway, providing life-changing beatdowns to many top-tier fighters. He's taken on a rising prospect in Arnold Allen, who is undefeated in the UFC at this point. Man, the odds for this fight, you see Max Holloway fight anybody that's not like a title contender or a former champion. You would expect these odds to be a little bit more, but coming off of the most decisive loss yet to his arch nemesis, Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway now finds himself, just a moderate favorite in this fight. Arnold Allen, even though he's unbeaten in the UFC, he still is the underdog. We're looking at currently minus 175 for Max Holloway, Arnold Allen plus 150. So the line has come down a bit. It's tightened up. I saw Max Holloway around like minus 190, minus 200 just a couple days ago. So there's some underdog love coming in. Maybe Max Holloway has missed a step. Maybe he's anytime he loses against a guy like Dustin Poirier or the 3 times now against Alexander Volkanovski, there's always that question like, man, this guy has absorbed a lot of damage. Is he falling apart? And when is he falling apart? Will his durability be cracked against Arnold Allen on Saturday? Hit us with the prediction, Cody.
Man, I just can't go against Max like that yet until I see there's too many factors. Arnold Allen, this is a live betting spot, in my opinion. Arnold Allen's going to come out here, and I don't even live bet, but if you're going to live bet a fight ever, it's going to be this one because Allen's going to come out. He's going to win the first, maybe even the second round because he's fast, dude. He's super fast. Max likes to come forward. Arnold Allen likes to counter people. That's what he did to Sadiq Youssef. That's what he did off the bat to Dan Hooker, and then he took off on Hooker. But yeah, man, I think he just like he did with Calvin Kattar, he is fast and he's crisp in that first round. He's fast and crisp in the second round. But then you've seen like in the third round, Sadiq Youssef started taking over a little bit. And that's what I think is what's going to happen here. I think he's going to put some beating on Max. But Max is the most toughest dude in the world. And to know that, you don't even got to watch any other fight other than the damn Yair Rodriguez fight, dude. He took so many leg kicks, so many body kicks. He got hit cleanly in the face so much. And that's another thing that worries you, like if he's slowing down. But I think that Arnold Allen comes out, looks good in that first and second round, and I think that Max is touching him the whole time. And Arnold Allen's out there moving, bobbing and all that. But I think by the third round, he ain't bobbing so much and Max is touching him, throwing 100 significant strikes around. By the fourth round, he's standing there and I think it's just going to be another Max versus Calvin Kattar type thing, man. I think once all that movement of Arnold Allen stops, I think it's going to be a beatdown. So let me get Max, man. Let me get Max by decision until I see something different other than Volkanovski. Give me Max by decision.
You betting this fight? You got any cash on it?
I don't got any cash on it, man. I don't even know about the over-unders because maybe Max could finish him if he can't take the beating Calvin Kattar took. Or maybe Arnold Allen is the first dude to just catch Max is slow. Max is older now, and he catches Max early. So I didn't know about the over-unders. In the Max line, I don't know. I don't know because Arnold Allen could really be the truth. He's fucking looked good in his fights with Dan Hooker, and we haven't got to see much though. But that's the big question is we haven't got to see him farther. And the only time we really seen him in a tough third round was against Sadiq Youssef. He looked good in the third round against Nick Lentz, and that was a pretty pressure heavy fight. Nick Lentz ain't a Max Holloway, but he's still good, and it showed he had good cardio. So give me Max Holloway by decision.
Ryan Jordan got one coming up July 15th, my friend. Training hard. Every day is mapped out until then. Every single second is mapped out until that meet. So it's going to be a big one. But yeah, I'm just as skeptical as you are on this fight, dude. Like, you can't ignore the fact that even though Max Holloway's 31, he's been in the league for going on 12 years now, and he's dished out more punishment than anybody in history. He's had like maybe ranked number 3 or 4 of the most cage time in the UFC with like 7 hours. He's not 31. He's in fight years. He's like 35, 36 at this weight class. He's up there, and he's eaten some pretty heavy shots. I like your take on this being Allen early. That's I certainly agree with that. He'll probably have the most success. This being a 3-round fight, that might go to Arnold Allen by decision. This being a 5-round fight, you got to be prepared that if Max Holloway is still durable, doesn't get put out, you got to be there to match his pace. For 5 rounds, which is very tough to do cardio wise, and we've seen Allen slow down. I'm on the Max Holloway side. The money line seems about right. It seems about right to me. This is either going to look like a very cheap spot on Max Holloway or, but it's like you mentioned at the very end of your breakdown, like Arnold Allen, we still have yet to learn. He's been so inactive in his schedule. There's still some ceiling left that I think we're going to see from Arnold Allen. He could look even better at 29 years old.
Yeah.
He's the guy, because we have so much data on Max Holloway. He's inherently the more predictable fighter. You know what I mean? Like you have all the tape in the world to see what Max Holloway is going to do, but Arnold Allen fighting once a year, who knows if he's going to grapple more.
One round fights too, these last couple fights has just been quick.
Yeah, and it's like a depleted version of good Killer Instinct, but a depleted featherweight version of Dan Hooker jumps on him. At least he was being a little bit more aggressive in that fight. Same with Kelvin Cater, got in his face early. Unfortunately, it was cut short. So I got to go with the volume. I got to go with the proven commodity in Max Holloway at featherweight, but I'm not touching this fight from a moneyline perspective. I like what people are saying about 4-5 decision for Max Holloway. That's around plus 125. I see their
I don't mind
podcast saying that. I like if you're going to pick a finish prop, I saw on FanDuel picking Max to win in rounds 3, 4, or 5 by KO is plus 650.
Wow.
You could sprinkle that, because if he's going to get it done, that's when he's going to get it done. It'll be the accumulation and a gassed version of Arnold Allen. I like that spot. The overs in this fight, I do like the overs. Featherweight fights tend to go a lot of the times in these 5-rounders. So any iteration of like over 2.5 as a parlay piece around like that minus 280 mark.
Yeah, up to 3.5, I think is money.
Minus 190 for the over 3.5, over 4.5, minus 135. I like all of those.
What's max by decision?
Max by decision plus 140, plus 150.
I think that. But that's the thing. We don't even know if Arnold Allen's that durable to take the punches in the 4th and 5th. That's why the time props, the whole bet and everything, it's tough because the reason I didn't really trust Max too is because he looked a little deteriorated against Volkanovski in the last fight, because we seen in the other 2 fights it was back and forth. In the 3rd fight, Volkanovski just beat the shit out of him for 5 rounds.
Yeah, and that's we always complain with these newcomers to the UFC or Contender Series, like how do you judge them being 20-0 against a bunch of tomato cans? But likewise, when there's a guy like Holloway that's only fighting the best guy pound for pound 3 times in a row and looks bad, what do you draw from that either at the highest level? So I got to learn. I want to take this fight and just learn.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah. At the end, in my breakdown, I said we're going to know a lot about both of these dudes after this fight, where their both career trajectory is like completely going. One's either going to be going back to the drawing board or the championship, and the other one championship or the drawing board, but maybe retirement. Who knows? Something like that.
Yeah, who knows? But give me Max blessed Holloway to give Arnold Allen his first UFC loss.
Maxie, baby.
Yeah, Mushroom MMA, his full card breakdown is coming out tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Go subscribe to our boy, Bobby Glansman, Mushroom MMA. Awesome guy. And
Great
thank you,
stuff.
Cody. And thanks, Shady, saying that, I do have tremendous guests on here, man. I'm not the best. I'm not the best by even a closest margin. I try to have smart people on here so I can be more like them and give a difference of opinion. That's really why I do it. It's just a lot of fun talking fights with passionate people. So thanks for coming on, man. It's been awesome. Let the people know what you got going on your channel this week. Plug the Patreon.
Yeah, man.
Yours.
Follow me. Check out my YouTube channel at BloodMoneyMMABets on Twitter and Instagram at BloodMoneyMMABets. And then I got my Patreon and Discord. If you watch my video, it's in there. Discord's free. It's Layer Cake Discord. It's free. I got a bunch of sharp people in there that give out soccer bets, hockey bets, like tennis bets, everything. And then we all talk UFC during the shows and stuff, give our tips during the week. And then the Patreon, I put a bunch of stuff on there. It's $10 a month. And I put a bunch of stuff like DraftKings lineup, my 10 best bets in order of confidence. I put in my picks early. Like last week I had Gastelum at plus 135. This week I had Bill Algeo at minus 150, Jillian Robertson at plus 145. Putting them on there early so everybody can beat the line movement right when I get them. And it's just been fun, man. It's fun. We're trying to grow everything. I'm trying to help Patrick get up to 1,000 subscribers. Nobody deserves it more than him. So
the army grows, man. I can't believe it's gotten as far as it has, dude. It's been great.
Oh, you're gonna do
this. If I was talking to if Daz Files was the only subscriber, man, I'd still be putting out content. I love that shit.
It's fun just to talk to people,
fun,
man.
It's fun making so many new friends on Twitter and YouTube, and it's just been awesome, dude. This is just great. I mean, I've always wanted to just talk fights nonstop every second of the day
with people that actually know the fights.
And nobody wants to. They're like, you're too much, dude. All my people in real life over the years since I was like in elementary school, they're like, dude, nobody cares. This is too much.
They don't.
But not the people here, dude. The people here are dope. I love all of you guys. Thank you.
Yep. Yep, I appreciate everybody, especially everybody that comes out, hangs out with us all night talking. Like you said, that was why I got into this too. I moved away from all my friends,
Yeah.
for a job and all this shit. And then I don't talk no MMA. I'm in a state where people don't even care about MMA or wrestling or nothing. And yeah, man, I got on here and I get to have fun every week because otherwise I'm gonna be talking my girlfriend's ear off about it. She'll act like she's listening. She'll be in there. She's nice, you know, so she's gonna act like she's listening. But yeah, man, this is fun stuff, and we make money. So
that's what it's all about. So thank you guys for all coming out. Good luck in all of your betting action. I'll have my best bets and props out by tomorrow. And then, yeah, we'll cash some tickets this weekend and be back at it again for next week's card, which is awesome, man. Blades and Pavlovich. Can't wait.
Yep.
So have a good night, you guys. Talk soon.
See you guys. Appreciate you coming out.